Wendy, man. The Wendy Williams Experience. And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What you're here to witness the greatest queen of all time. Okay, party people in the house. Turn it up, yo. Turn it up. This is it. Allow me to reintroduce this. Just better get it right. Y'all know the name. Wendy Williams. Been in this game for a while. Take the crack.
Ain't nobody.
It is phenomenal. Like the queen. Right here.
From your block to yo, heard of the number one female, been doing this for years.
Barbershop, beauty salons.
This was so much
And again, Wendy, bringing your name up. A lot of you haters scared to death. So, Wendy,
she in it the way.
Wendy,
She back and she staying.
Wendy,
The ain't playing. The winner of the Game Chief of the Year award.
once again.
Hey, people. What's going on? Welcome to the show. I'm glad to be here with you guys. It's going to be a big show today. Is my microphone too loud and the music too... I sound very, very clear, almost too clear in my head. Well, during Advice Hour today, I've got some rules for you to get that raise you've been looking for at work. The celebrities continue to act up. We'll talk about some old school people, Genuine and Escape. Plus, I've got a blind item, and we'll talk about 50 Cent. The drama continues there. We'll talk about Hallie and Oprah in the movie. I saw every morsel of it last night, so I am so prepared today. And guess who's coming in for the Hour of Truth today? Lil Cease. Oh, shoot. Right? So it is what it is. And keep it where you got it. It's the Wendy Williams Experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and distinction that I introduce to you the queen of all media, Wendy Williams.
Yeah, I will take it. Hi, everybody, and thanks for being here today. Welcome to the show. Oh, yes. Shout out to Kamara. I just finished reading the full Vanity Fair, including your article. I just passed it off to the intern corner. That was a fun interview on Friday, wasn't it, you guys? Look, you know what? I mean, you can't hate on her. You can't hate on her brutal honesty about being fabulous. That's that. You know, so many wealthy people, you know, oh, yes, well, you know, of course, you know, cars and houses, it's kind of, you know, trappings of getting paid $12 million a movie or whatever. No, I want to know more. See, she gives it to me the way I want it. Straight, raw, dare I say borderline bitchy. But you know what? She's writing the checks. She's cashing the checks. And I want to know more. I want to know everything. I want to look in that closet. You know, I want to know how a shopping spree goes. I loved how that Vanity Fair article took us all through, you know, all what was going on. Only thing that I don't co-sign on is her wanting to beat, you know, the jump-offs behind as opposed to Russell's behind. Or better yet, you know what I'm saying? It's understood that you would wreak havoc based on your stance in the article. Did you see her? She's standing by the pool looking evil. You know what I mean? I just wish that she hadn't gone into, you know, other women. It's the Vanity Fair. But hey, Kamara. Hey, Mariah. People who are looking forward to, but she had a little voice snafu, everybody. We're still going to make that happen. Mariah, I have a picture of the cover of your new CD, The Emancipation of Mimi. And when it was given to me, I did think it was Beyonce. And I'm looking at it, and I still think it's Beyonce. Is this Beyonce with larger jugs posing as Mariah? What is that? But you think about who had the look first, Mariah, Mariah's hair color. You know what I'm saying? It's Mariah's hair color. It's Mariah with some brush-a-tan. But Mariah's been gone for so long that Beyonce has jumped into that look. Now, if you're Mariah, what do? Dye your hair black? No. Dye it red? No. Why should I play with my hair color? You understand what I'm saying? Not put extensions in for my album cover? Are you crazy? Hair is power, honey. Is how I'm reading her stance. She's standing with her head tossed. I mean, what is she supposed to do? But I swear, I thought that Mariah. I thought that this was you can't shorten that name. I tried to, endear myself. Mimi. Yeah, that's it. Mimi. Mimi. I thought this was Beyonce. Didn't you think this was Beyonce? Yeah, she looks great, doesn't she?
Okay.
The emancipation of Mimi. I hear that. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 5. Heading towards a 4. And I'm talking about their eyes were watching God. I watched it from beginning to end. I was so mad about Wisteria Lane, but I stayed. You know what I'm saying? I stayed. Even my parents rushed home to watch it. They're in town. They were over at the Montclair Drifters, had their luncheon. And I was talking to my mom this morning, and she was saying that, because they stayed over at my brother's house, and she was saying that, they rushed home to watch the movie and stuff. My mom and dad, they thought it was okay. As a matter of fact, my mother fell asleep. First of all, my father, if it wasn't for my mother, my father would definitely be, carrying on about that Halle Berry. The only woman who could make him act out of character. Hi, Daddy. You know what I mean? But my mother fell asleep on it. My father had nothing to say. And I give it a 5. Heading towards a 4, not 5 with a bullet. I told you she's a cold fish. You couldn't see in real life that she's probably a cold fish? Like that sex is probably... You know how, a cold fish just fans her glorious hair across the pillow and throws her hands over her head and lays back like, do me. Haven't you dreamt about this? Thinking they don't have to do anything. I've said this all along about Halle Berry. I bet you the sex is whack. And Oprah, you really built that first kiss up like it was going to be something. I did a panty check afterwards, nothing. I was thinking, well, just because my head is not seeing excitement, maybe my body is. Let me check. Nothing. And Michael Ealy, he's a friend to the show. Well, you know what? I don't want to say ow and how you doing, but what I do want to say is she can have him. Were you turned on to him?
No.
See, I'm so over...
Movie.
No, I was looking at him as a man. I was taking him out of the movie thing and just looking at him as a man. I was looking at them together. Like, I don't see... I hope they're happy together. Oprah, you had all of our attention, but that's only because Wisteria Lane wasn't on. And by 10 o'clock, I wanted to bail. But I had already committed an hour. So for the purpose of class today, I said I'm going to stay until 11. At 11 o'clock, I was up in arms that the movie wasn't going off, that I had another half hour. So I installed toothpicks in my eyes and stopped yawning, and I stayed until 11:30. I mean, I was glad I watched because, we have something in common to talk about weekend TV this weekend, but I wasn't that impressed by it. And none of the girls in the office were either. What did you guys think? Maybe they just built it up too much. And wasn't that the same character that she played in Losing Isaiah and Queen? Halle Berry isn't the best actress. But you know what she is? She's the one that they let through the gate in Hollywood because, they only let but so many, Angela's too old. Vanessa's, too old. Whatever. You know how Hollywood is. Hallie's, the right complexion, I guess, and the right hair texture, whatever it is, the right defined nose after her nose job. Exactly. Art, please. I understand that. You know what I mean? Halle was willing to do the Hollywood dance and play the game. And I'm not saying she's the only one, but I'm just saying she might have been the best looking one, in terms of at that particular time when they were opening the gates. Who came in with her? Robin Givens. Okay. But Robin Givens Well, listen, she was on Head of the Class. Robin Givens, I'm sure, would do the dance too, but Hollywood would say that Hallie looks better than Robin. They're both about the same age. No, Robin's 5 years older. Okay, so she's got the age thing. Kimberly Russell. Who else was about the same time? Come on, give me some. Holly Robinson Pete. But you know what? Holly would have been a good one, but her mother is too connected in Hollywood, and it would have gotten back to her mother if Holly played the Hollywood dance. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So Holly Robinson Pete wasn't going to do it, even though she had all those years successful on 21 Jump Street. Who else? Vanessa Williams. Vanessa's older than I don't know. Or five. It was entertaining, great, like that. What do me and E40 have in common? Does anybody know? We both love making up words. Come on, you guys. So shout out to everybody over at Double XL Magazine, because I was reading the most recent issue with the Snoop in the Game on the cover and stuff, and I see that E40 has a few new words for us. Most of them are very corny, E40, but I do like one. Turtle. You know what turtle? All right, let me just go over a couple of them. Sweet Polly Purebred. And he says, it's a girl. Remember the cartoon, Underdog? He used to talk about his Sweet Polly Purebred. That's a pretty broad. So I don't like that one. The Sweet Polly Purebred. I don't like that term. Thumper is a gun. That's, yeah. Tycooning is balling. You're tycooning. That explains itself. Yeah. It's cute, but okay. The one that I really do like, he gives about 10 of them here. It's only one I'm in love with. I want to start incorporating him with this show, thanks to E40. Turtle instead of chief, because it's green and it makes you slow. Turtle. Yeah. See, let's use it in a sentence. And Demu, who comes on the radio before me, his eyes were all red. Does he know the turtle?
Uh-oh.
Here at WBLS in New York. What's up, Mo? Sorry I had to use you for example, but for real, though, we need to have some Visine in the studio. Maybe he was up all night. Who knows? So what? Where are we going to go today with this? Where are we going to go? Because by the time Lil Cease comes in here, it's going to be over. I see the cover of the New York Post today. Big article. Kim's fans campaign of hate. Oh. And on the inside, there's a big article about, death to anybody who speaks about Kim. How dare Lil Cease? How dare these people get on the stand and talk bad about Kim? So all of her fans are on the internet wishing murder and mayhem and destruction to anybody that is, getting in the courtroom to talk, to save their own behinds with the Kim thing. But they thought that was important enough on the New York Post that it occupies half of the first page. So we'll get a Lil Cease. He's coming in today for the Hour of Truth. He always makes an interesting guest for the show. And I would like to think that we had a hand in his DVD doing real well. So love to you, Cease, and we'll see you in a few. Keep it where you got it, everybody. Thanks.
Wendy, man.
I just heard something about boy Game. Is any truth to the rumor about him being on Changing Heart dating show or whatever?
Yeah, he said he was on it. He did, whatever. Okay.
The Wendy Williams Experience. Yo, did you catch this flashback?
The plastic surgeon that I consulted before even using Dr. Al, he's in Philly. I won't mention his name. His office had broken windows outside the office building. Okay. He had classroom chairs in the waiting room. The chairs that you pick up and you move it over so you can talk to your friend across the room. You know what I'm saying? He had cheap carpeting that was stained.
Maybe he was cutting costs.
No, I'm sorry, honey.
This thing right here. It's a day. It's a whole lot. Coming through your speakers, boy. It's Wendy, man. Yo, did you catch this flashback?
How do you, as a black author, justify writing a novel that has, well, not just because we're black, we have to write black, but this has nothing to do with black people anywhere.
Well, I'm sorry that I have not fit the bill of Negroidian.
It's a day, and it's a whole lot. Coming through your speakers, boy. It's Wendy, man.
That's my dad playing along with the show when he was up here. Wrote a book, put him in the hot seat. Actually, he's a 3-time published author. Anyway, everybody, this is from Christy in New Orleans, and she says, Wendy, if Vivica Fox and Whitney Houston had a fight, who would win? I think Vivica would put Whitney where? Back there. I don't. I think Whitney would. I mean, it would be a close one. I don't even believe we're talking about this. But both women have indicated to me that they're still in fighting form. So as long as they're going to still be on the block fighting, then let's talk about who would win. Not each other, but just in general, you know. Even though Vivica, she's down with the Kung Fu, Kill Bill, whatever, Whitney's eyes still look crazy to me, you all. And I don't want to say anything because I want to believe that is a success story in terms of putting the offender ratio pair back there. But truth be told, am I still looking crazy? And it's not funny. Why am I laughing? Only because I think Whitney would just be swinging wild, like windmilling, and just kicking crazy on Vivica's behind. Vivica would be standing there like, Whitney, what? This is supposed to be a fight. We're supposed to be organized. But Vivica is clear in the eye and mind. So she'd be fighting according to the rules, and Whitney just windmilling. I had so much fun. I went down to South Carolina on Friday and hosted a party. Shout out to everybody listening now on Hot 103.9. We had a great time. Then afterwards, I went past Liquids, the strip club, but I was too tired to get out. So I just sat in the parking lot and waited for them to cook up the sausage sandwich with the onions and the barbecue sauce. What? They were getting it on out there in South Carolina. The strip clubs are big. And, but I was just too tired to go in and you know, then the dollar dances. I was just tired, but I wasn't too tired to eat. Fat thoughts. See, there I go. So you placed the order, and I right out there, the big kettle and all the meat you could want, and it's just smelling up the joint. 3:00 in the morning. What? And then I went to the Power 99 ski trip on Saturday. That was fun. And that was out in Maryland. Even though Power 99 is located in Philly, I had no idea that there was skiing in Maryland, but there is. And people were. Dear Wendy, forget about the stupid Oprah movie on ABC. You must go see Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I laughed. I cried. A very good movie. Kimberly Elise is very good actress. And Tyler. How you doing? But he's hot. That's from Trisha Morgan. I haven't seen it yet, but I was talking to one of my girlfriends yesterday, Karen, and Karen was saying she went to see it and she was surrounded by pathetic behavior from black women. I'm telling you what she said. I said, well, who was in the audience? She said a bunch of lonely biddies screaming at the screen and, that's right, girl, get him. You know what I'm saying? And I said, well, kind of like, you know, what did you expect and stuff? But Karen, you know, has herself together in terms of, you know, she's single, but she's happy with it. And she's not letting, you know, her life be dictated by a boyfriend or not. And she's got her great job and she's got her, you know, her luxurious car and her vacations per year and all like that. And she went with a girlfriend of hers who was also cut from the same cloth as Karen, you know, single, but together. And they were the only two not screaming at the screen, and everybody else was just like, get it, girl. Well, all right. And I want to judge for myself. I mean, I know that what she said is probably absolutely right, but I want to go. I think I'm going to ask my mother for a date. I'm going to ask my mother for a date for Friday.
Oh, you're fantastic, Wendy. You will always be my special star. I love you.
Yeah, well, a little, that would be the date with my mother. When you see me holding an older woman's hand, look at Wendy with her old lesbian lover sitting up here with Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Oh, yeah. Look at them sharing the same popcorn, drinking the same diet soda. Look, they still holding hands. Oh, boy. There's a Sarah Jessica spotting in Manhattan, and unfortunately, it's the spotting that I hate. Apparently, she was spotted without her wedding ring stepping out of a car service car in New York, and she had on the biggest pair of sunglasses, as the quote says, known to man. She dashed into a nearby building, but not before plenty of close-ups were taken of her naked wedding finger. Then they go on to say that she was married to Matthew Broderick back in 1997, and later on this month she'll turn 40. Why is that always a reason to sound the alarm? Because somebody walks out without their wedding ring. I mean, I already told you how I feel about that. I'll take some magic marker and draw a picture if I have to. You know, a ring around my finger. I always feel naked when I do. But by the same token, you know, not everybody's like that. So what? You don't wear your wedding ring. Big deal. I got to tell you something right now. She makes me want to go and buy everything in the Gap, though. How about you? And with I enjoy being a girl. I'm like, check out the Gap. And then I got to grab a hold of myself and remember, only certain things in the Gap are built for folk. 1. And number 2, Sarah Jessica Parker is a size 2 or 0. So supposedly everything looks good on people like that. And number 3, there is no number 3. You fill in the blank in your own mind. Dear Wendy, where the hell is the justice system? How the hell will Mel Sachs, Little Kim's lawyer, get her off for lying? She knows those men. She's guilty, and I hope she goes down. That's from Laisha, Little Kim's sister. She doesn't have a sister-in-law. She's not married, girl. Did you all see the Usher special on Showtime? I forgot to remind you all of it. On a scale of 1 to 10, Jamie from the intern corner, what do you give that?
A 6.
When did that come on?
Saturday.
And so this person right here, Raven, says too much dancing and not enough singing. Would you co-sign?
Yes.
Is that what turned you off about it?
His voice doesn't sound good live.
But he's a showman. Was it good?
Yes. I mean, it was good.
That was the purpose. Buy the records to hear him sing.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody sings good live.
Mm-hmm. He sounded like struggling to be happy.
She's hating. Oh. She's hating.
True.
You know, nobody exactly, because, you know, Usher puts on a good show. Nobody sounds good live. Because, you know, they're busy dancing. I mean, when you go to see a live show, I'd rather see dancing than hear singing. Because that's what we're there for. We'll get back to that. But anyway, everybody, keep it here. Advice Hour's coming up next.
Wendy, man.
First of all, my question is, what's wrong with Fantasia? I guess maybe I'm wondering why no one wants to focus on Fantasia's talent. I mean,
Because nobody can get past her team.
Wendy Williams experience. Everybody needs some.
Should I leave? Like, is that selfish to my son?
Come get some.
Let me tell you, Wendy, if we're in trouble with a dude,
Find out.
I'm having a problem with my fiance and his family.
I was in a relationship with this girl for like 18 months. She told me the relationship meant nothing.
Always drama.
Call Wendy right now. 1-866-GET-WENDY. Fax Wendy at 866-WENDY-FAX.
Wendy, can you give me advice on plastic surgery?
Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody. It's Advice Hour here on The Experience. And let's go to the phone. Hello.
Wendy.
Hi.
Hi, baby. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I hope I'll be doing better after I speak to you.
Uh-oh.
I need some Wendy Williams advice.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm 37. I was married some time ago. My wife decided that she wanted to live an alternate lifestyle, and we divorced.
Mm-hmm.
I say that just to set up my situation now. I'm engaged. I've been engaged for about 2 years. Me and my fiance, we've been together for about 5.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 kids, a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old.
Mm-hmm.
After the 6-month-old was born, she started to make the same moves as my previous wife.
The lesbian thing.
Yeah, she well, not exactly the lesbian thing, because I asked her directly, are you homosexual?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't say yes and she didn't say no. She just, act like, ew, and walked away.
Mm-hmm.
But since it's been, we stopped having relations about eight months into the second pregnancy. and we haven't had sexual relations since. I can't get her to touch me. I can't get her. She stopped kissing me, and it's like the same exact order of what happened to me with my wife.
Well, which doesn't necessarily mean that she is an alternate lifestyle person, but perhaps she's turned off to sex, or she might be turned off to you. But it also just might be her busy with the kids and work and whatnot. And it happens to people.
Okay, well, she won't directly address the sexual situation. There's always, a brush off answer.
Okay. So what's your question?
So my question is, now I'm really frustrated. I haven't had relations going on almost a year now.
Okay, so it's time for you. First of all, the engagement is officially off, because you can't possibly think about marrying a person knowing that you need sex and there's no sex. So you just make sure that you're good to your kids and respectful of her as your baby's mother, and it's time for you to move on.
I was afraid you were going to tell me that. I love her very much, and I've promised myself that this is absolutely the last long-term relationship that I'm going to involve myself.
Well, you got to stop producing kids. I mean, you got all your kids now.
Yeah, that's it for me. I'm out of the kids' business.
Okay. And you went into this trying to do the right thing. But before you ask her for a divorce, plead with her. Make her talk. If she avoids it, then be prepared in that same conversation to say, well, I need a divorce because I don't want to cheat on you. So I'd rather just get out and then go on with my life. And
that's what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling like I just want to go out and get me a wild jump off.
Yeah, don't do all that. Talk to your wife respectfully, then respectfully ask for a divorce. I mean, it's been a year. She's got issues. Maybe it's something you can help her through. Chances are not, since she hasn't wanted to talk to you about it. But, maybe what she needs is more help around the house to free her up. I don't know. But be prepared in the same conversation, you go for the divorce. If you don't like the answers you're hearing. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, Wendy.
All right, bye-bye. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, it's Wendy. It's Advice Hour.
Hello, Wendy.
Hey.
I was calling because I'm seeing this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have kids together. Well,
so you're not seeing him? He's your baby's father.
Right.
Okay. You don't make it sound so casual. You're in it. Okay. How many kids do you have?
We have 3.
Okay. You're real in it.
Yeah.
And how old are the kids?
One of them is 5, one of them is 8, and one is 6.
Okay, so you've been in it for years.
Like 13 years.
Yeah, so you're not seeing this guy. I mean, you were deep in.
Okay, so then, but he has someone else.
And how long has this been going on?
Like about 6 years.
Okay, so 13 years. Your oldest is 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started this affair.
My oldest is 8.
8, okay. All right, so, and then you went on to have more kids with him anyway.
Stupidly, yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
All right, so then he has the next baby's mother, which is no problem, but...
Okay, how old is the other baby?
5 years old.
Okay, and then he had a baby within your relationship prior to you having child number 2 and child number 3, but you still insisted on going on and having more babies with him.
Thinking that things would change stupidly once again.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So now I realize that I'm to the point in my life where I'm going on. My kids are all in school. I pay for my kids to go to private school.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay.
So I pay for the kids to go to private school and everything. Mm-hmm. And now I met somebody. And I've been seeing him for 6 months.
Okay. Jumping off.
Huh?
Jumping off.
Right.
Because you and the baby's father, you all live together as family.
No, we live in separate houses, but he still takes care of home with me.
Oh, okay. But you're not seeing him anymore.
Well, we still
have sex.
Right.
Okay.
But anyway, I met the next guy.
6 months ago.
Yeah. And he's always on the road because he drives trucks.
Mm-hmm.
But he's so good to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's something that I always wanted, but he's just not my type. But he's just so good. And I know that if I let this opportunity go, I think I'm going to lose everything that I pray for.
Yeah, but you said he's not your type, but he's so good to you. So what is it?
I don't think that you should always focus on looks. I mean, he's not ugly, but, I'm used
especially not at 38 with 3 kids, but go ahead. I mean, sister, really.
But I don't.
I'm not telling you that you need to start settling, but I'm just saying, 3 kids at 38, I would think that you'd have the maturity level to realize that, looks are a minor part of a beautiful person picture. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going for the looks because at my age, looks don't mean nothing,
Right, because that's where we're starting to lose ours.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that I want. This is what I'm bringing it to.
Yeah.
He's much younger than me.
Oh, shoot. So he's out driving trucks. You really think that you're his only?
He's just coming off the road. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's why he's coming off the road, because he wants to commit and do, like his family has a trucking business.
Okay.
But he wanted to drive on the road.
And how many kids does he have?
He doesn't have any kids.
Okay, so what does he want from you?
He doesn't care if he has kids or not, but he knows that I have kids. We go out with the kids and everything.
How old is he?
He's actually 10 years younger than me.
So he's 28.
Right.
He'll care eventually whether he has kids or not. Just keep that in mind.
Oh, I'm sure one day he will, but I'm just saying, but I don't know. I guess because I just feel like he's just something. He's like, I can't even explain.
Well, I can explain. He's a ship passing you in the night. He's 28 years old. He's got no kids. You are 38 with 3 kids. When he comes off the road, and by the way, you've only been seeing him for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So what could you possibly be asking me about him? Because he's been on the road for this 6 months. So you all talk on the phone, I guess, and then you see him when he comes to town.
I see him once every 2 weeks.
Okay, so this is not
for
really
a couple of days, not for like one day, but for a couple of days.
Yeah, but how much time can you really commit to him? You got the 3 kids. What are the kids doing while you're with him for a couple of days?
Well, it's usually on the time when they're out of school, so they're usually with their grandparents.
Okay. So what's your question?
I just don't know. I'm just confused about the whole thing.
Okay, let me unconfuse you.
Yes, please, because I know you're going to tell the truth.
Yes, enjoy the sex, wear your birth control. Don't look for anything from a 28-year-old man, because you are 38 with 3 kids. You got baggage, and it's not even so much the 38, it's the 3 kids.
Uh-huh.
And he has no kids. Why would he want to settle down with you?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, we talk about it.
Whatever. Whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
All right.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I sit here and I try to, and I want to go back to something that we talked about in Advice Hour on Friday, because I lied. I lied about my opinion. As a matter of fact, Thursday. Sometimes I do that because I'm trying to see everybody's side of the story, but I know damn well that if I was in the situation, what I'd do. I guess what I'm saying is sometimes I find myself lying just to make whoever I'm talking about not feel so bad. Exactly. I have to stop that. Both barrels from now on. I'm sorry. Hello?
Hello, Wendy.
Hey.
Hi. This guy who I know is unhappy, and I don't know what to do. I mean, he calls me without my permission. I don't know how he got my number.
Okay. Art, can you put her on hold for just a moment? We'll go to somebody else. Thank you. Just pick somebody up. I recognize that fruity nut bag. You recognize that voice too. You know who the hell that is. It's the same one who says she's a baby by Michael Damn Jordan. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, it's Advice Hour.
Hey, Wendy, I don't have any advice. I just wanted to know what's the name of your dad's book.
Okay, hold on for just one moment, okay? Art, let's go back to the nutty nut job. Let's luxuriate for a moment. Okay, go ahead.
He says he wants to marry me. He put me in a position where I'm...
Who would want to marry this? Are you listening to her voice?
He put me in a position where I'm somewhat the other woman in his life because he likes me. I speak to everyone about it, but all they ever said to me was if I love him, love is complicated.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Have you called this show before?
Me?
Yes.
No.
You don't have a baby with Michael Jordan?
With what?
With Michael Jordan?
No. No, I don't have a baby with Michael Jordan.
You sound like her.
Like who? Juanita?
No, okay. All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry for prejudging you. Hold on for just a moment. Let's go back to that other lady. Hey.
Hey.
Okay, his book that he has out now is called Talansky.
How do you spell it?
Talansky.
And your dad's name is?
His name is Thomas D. Williams.
Can't find it. Okay, thank you.
You know what? Go on eBay.
eBay?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Amazon.com.
Amazon.
And Barnes & Nobles and Borders.com. They got them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Now, you remember the banker with no kids and the woman with 5 kids? Okay. I lied. Why would you settle for some woman saddled with 5 kids and 5 different babies' fathers? Now, I forgot what I said, but it had nothing to do with bail. So let me just get back into that. Bail. Why are you even asking? Bail. 5 kids and 5 babies' fathers. There is poor judgment and a whole mess of crap going on with her that you don't want to deal with. A fine, upstanding, well-educated banker like yourself. Get out here and get one of these single girls. Stalk the theaters for Diary of a Mad Black Woman. As you see all the women coming out. You know what I mean? Any given party where there's more women to men. Any place. Come on. You are a rarity. Why would you want to settle down with some woman with 5 kids and 5 babies' fathers? And you have no kids and you're a banker. I mean, really? I just had to correct that. I wasn't right all weekend, knowing I lied and told him, well, it's very upstanding of you to want to be with her. I would say take it slow and see where it... I don't know who I was thinking I was that day. Why was I letting that woman with all this going on down here? All this, 5 different times. And he's 28 and a banker. You remember my answer that I gave to that?
It was great.
Because I'm trying to, shout out to all the women with the kids and trying to let you all know that there's hope for love. No, I didn't say she was big, and we don't know that she's big. I try to, the single women with kids, because it could be any one of us at any given time. But I'm sorry. 3+ and 3 different babies' fathers, that is the beginning of all hell no. But 5 and 5 babies' fathers? And oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Amen. Michelle?
Yeah.
You're just having casual sex with him.
Right.
There is no engagement.
No.
He's got a girlfriend.
Phone call. I'm pregnant now. Should I keep it?
Wait, hold on for just one moment. I'm about to reach through the phone and crack her skull.
The Wendy Williams Experience.
Yeah, everybody, it's Wendy Williams Experience. Thanks for being here. And so, it's so funny. This person says, yeah, Wendy, Sarah Jessica Parker makes me want to wear a khaki double-breasted trench coat and a pink scarf. I'm soft and pink, and that commercial puts me in a great mood every time I see it. Exactly! Spring has sprung, and SJP is leading the charge with them Gap clothes. They look great on her, too. On another note, their eyes are watching God. It was just okay. It was a so-so kind of movie. Had Desperate Housewives been on, I would have quickly reached for the remote. And Hallie's love interest is the guy that was in the movie. That's who her real life boyfriend is. They live together. Michael Ealy. Jen in Camden says, dang, Wendy, you were reading my mind about the 28-year-old banker in love with the lady with the 5 kids. In fact, I thought the woman you were just talking to was the lady. Yeah, you did give him wrong advice the other day. Yeah, thanks. And let's get to some new stuff. Dear Wendy, I need your advice on a little problem I'm having. I'm a 42-year-old woman, and I've been married for 20 years. I love my husband very much, but we don't have an active sex life. We have sex maybe once or twice a month, and sometimes once or twice every 2 months. I'm in my sexual peak, and I need to have sex a lot more often than I do, but I don't know how to get my sex life back. Wendy girl, what could I do to put a spark in my sex life? It's from Simone. No, at 42, exactly. You are in your peak. I mean, does lingerie do it for your man? How about sex in strange places? How about you buy an arsenal of stuff from the local sex store and you please yourself and you let him watch you? That'll get him right back into action. How about you start watching the Spice Channel a bit with him? I mean, you got to spice it up and do different things. And, you have to talk to him about this because maybe there is some part of you that he just feels is so-so, and maybe that's the issue. Is there some part of him that makes you feel so-so? And so then that's the issue. I mean, you all have to talk about it and find out what all's doing. There is no hard, fast answer about how to put a spark back in your sex life because everybody is different. But I would say, yeah, you do need that spark. What did she say? Once or twice a month. And sometimes once or twice every 2 months. Yeah, because somebody's about to jump off. And I think her name starts with an S. Or maybe somebody already is jumping off. And his name starts with M, as in Mr. Simone. Your man, your husband. Yeah, you need to investigate. Dear Wendy, this is my situation. Oh, and you know what I was going to tell you guys during this advice hour? Let me not let the time slip by. I was going to give you tips on how to get that raise. The raise that you want so desperately at your job, but you maybe need a little bit extra help. I've got 9 tips. Here's my list. I love my lists. Okay, rule number 1. Never, ever raise your personal neediness when asking for a raise from a boss. Exactly. I know there are many people who don't understand this and they go into, well, I just, had a baby and, my husband just divorced me and he's not paying child support and I need money. No, your boss doesn't want to hear that. Well, my wife just got laid off from her job and bills are mounting up and I could really use this raise. They don't want to hear that, the bosses. They don't. Rule number 2, follow the magic formula for success, which is number 1. There are only 2 rules this person has down here. Actually, this is from a writer named Karen Salamajan, and I got this from a newspaper, and I thought they were pretty good. So she really only has 2 rules, but the second rule has, sub rules. All right. Compliment the boss on the office shoes, artwork, photogenic baby, whatever. Hey, that works. That's called brown nosing. Number 2, discuss the company's needs in the areas that are vulnerable and how you would be able to help as an employee with a raise. Number 3, talk about how you are uniquely gifted with the hard-to-find skills to fix the company, and then only you know what the skills are, and so on and so forth. You understand? In other words, list your qualifications for why it is that you need this raise and what it is that you're giving to your company and why it's unique. Number 4, list all of your money-making benefits to the company, past, present, and future. Why they need to keep you around. Because it's good for the bottom line, which is money of your company. Number 5, insert your need for a promotion and a raise right here. All right. So after you compliment the what's all going on in the boss's office, you discuss the vulnerabilities of your company, and you talk about how you are uniquely gifted in helping to fix something that the company needs or where your company is vulnerable, and list all of how you benefit the company in terms of money. Then right about here, after you do those 4 things, then say, look, I need a promotion, a raise. Then she goes on to say, if you haven't received a raise offer after step number 5, which was, look, I need a promotion or a raise, then self-impose your own promotion by asking your boss how he or she would like to see the company grow. Then brainstorm new money-making tasks. That's good. Flip it around on your boss. Well, what would you like to see for your company 5 years from now, 3 years from now, next year? Flip it on them. Then you reinsert your need for a pay raise and before you leave your boss's office. You do that once again. If your boss still says no, take on more company, leave the office, take on more of the company profit-making tasks, then keep returning to your boss's office asking for a raise until you get one. If you still don't receive a raise after 2 months, then go check out new companies and schedule some interviews. I like the way this woman is. Straightforward, you know what I'm saying? But I love her first thing, and I think that many people do this. You walk into your boss's office and you say, look, my 2-year-old has a hole in his heart, and my wife was just laid off, and I need... people do that. I mean, bosses care, but they don't give a damn. Yeah, they don't want a pity party. As a matter of fact, you might get fired just because of the doom and gloom that you're bringing over the boss's office, and that you might infect other employees with the same doom and gloom. Keep that over there and let work servers work. I liked what this woman had to say. I wish I could tell you where. Oh, you know what? Find out more about raises and jobs and whatnot. Go on the website, careerbuilder.com. I like that website. Damn, I had a letter from a man regarding his coworker. Damn, I still might have to squeeze this in, but we got Cease coming up next hour. Cease is going to talk the tea with the experience next.
Wendy, man.
Presently, my husband just got discharged from the military. But now he's home, and I just want to tell him to get the out.
The Wendy Williams experience.
I was just conferring behind the scenes with my style. Oh, shoot. Here come trouble. Never mind. Little Cease. Little Cease looking like he got money. Klepto.
What's up, man?
What's going on? Hey, Cease.
What up?
First of all, congratulations. Yeah, I'm sorry about the microphone. Here, turn that microphone.
Can I get some headphones, though?
Yeah. Why?
So I can hear myself, so I can know how I sing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were on to us.
So I can do everything on cue.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations on the success of the Junior Mafia DVD.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot, man. See, I know what real thing's about.
Yo,
you
sold
good right now.
200,000 copies so far.
No. Maybe about 100,000, but that's still good.
That's still good.
You know, for a dude without a record out, being worked and all that, it's a good thing. I mean, people are interested.
And how much were you selling them for? Or are you selling them?
It was like $16.99, something
That's
like
good.
that. Some spots between. They even had it in Dwayne Reed's.
Really?
Yeah, I just had to take, edit it a little bit, take some of the curses out.
Yeah, well, no, let's get to the situation at hand, okay? Because it's only a little show, but I could sit and talk to you all day about this little Kim trial. I was reviewing it blow for blow on Friday. Now, we've been following it closely. James Cruz has testified. Then he went home and he cried to his wife and kids.
Yeah.
Capone, I thought, took the stand on Friday. Apparently, he takes the stand today.
Yeah.
And Cease, you took the stand last Wednesday or something like that.
Yeah.
So you showed up in court with a Biggie Small damn t-shirt on.
Gangster, right?
I'm saying, Cease, but I'm saying.
What, I'm supposed to get up there dressed up like I'm not in nothing. I'm chilling. How am I supposed to go up there?
In a suit to try to help your girl out?
That's my girl. Last time you spoke to her was her homie.
I don't know, but I'm thinking now she's fighting for her life. Klep, she's facing 30 years.
Yeah.
There's no pink compassion in you all's damn black ass hearts.
It is, man. If them people wasn't coming knocking at my door saying I gotta be there, I wouldn't have been there.
Exactly.
I was talking about the feds, and New York understand, and I know real people understand, but New York, all the dummies on the emails and these fake ass fans understand when the feds come for you, U.S. government.
Exactly.
When nigga come, if you don't come, I go to jail.
Yeah.
Last time you spoke to Kim, was Kim a good friend of mine for me to sit there and say, let me just throw my career away and just lie about something these people already know?
No, you had already interviewed with us and you already expressed that you and Kim were on bad terms.
But let me say one point. Listen, that's like us coming here and God forbid something happen out here, right?
Right.
And we did this show, and then next week, they say, "Were y'all at Wendy Williams show?"
Right.
Under in front of the grand jury. We said, "No, we never seen Wendy Williams."
Right.
And they play this interview.
Come on, man. Use your common sense, New York. You know we got y'all.
So now, and by the way, I'm loving the rose gold. You were very.
I ain't go like this to court, but that's how she go. That's why I'm in her ass. She go there with big purses and mates coming in.
Yeah,
but she queen bitch.
But one of our interns right back there, Steve, he's our court reporter, and he said Capone showed up today. Capone had on a bunch of, diamond and platinum jewelry,
He want to sell his music.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all good publicity. I don't really care about none of them. Album coming out April 19th, Riot Music, DVD out in stores right now. We got the big party jumping off March 9th at the Roxy. Tribute to Big. Performances by me, Jada Kiss, Mr. Cheeks, Marv Deep, Sanchez, Jamaican artists, and it's going down.
Everybody.
It's a good thing right now.
So did you guys hear anything about, and I'm getting back to this in a moment, but here's a little something that I was going to save this little morsel, but but as long as you all hear no time like the present to share with everybody.
Because I heard you last Friday.
Yeah.
I was going to call you that day.
Friday, it was like, damn, season.
Let you know I'll be up there Monday. We can do it the right way and all that. You know what I mean?
Only because just the clothing attire going to court. I thought maybe you had a bit.
I mean, I was tired. I was at home. I was going through something. I just went through all my clothes and went handle my business. You know, I know how to do this. I've been through that situation before.
Yeah.
I've been arrested plenty of times. I know how to handle situations like that.
Yeah.
She says she been through all that and all that. Handle your situation or get a better lawyer. Do something.
And so now Hillary is off the hook.
I mean, didn't she cop out right before the...
Yeah,
okay.
She copped out.
Everybody copped out.
Yeah.
You think 40 people that's on this case hate Kim? Come on now.
Yeah.
There's other people that just sit there, they know what it is, and why not jeopardize themselves for somebody else?
Do you think she's going to get any jail time?
I don't know. I hope she don't. I don't want people to think I just went out there and said, "Oh, let me crash Kim because she did something to me."
Right.
I have no remorse for sure. I don't got no problems with her.
Right.
I was forced there by the government.
I mean, damn, you even elaborated about how she and D-Rock shared a bedroom. Then they showed.
I mean, this is on the phone. This is on phones. This is on two ways.
Yeah.
This is pictures.
Yeah.
This is the.
And then they asked you.
I mean, let me tell you something. This happened 2001.
Yes.
And what year is it now?
Yeah, 5.
So that means they worked on this and they did what they had to do.
Yeah.
Everything they needed.
And so then they showed you a tape of what all was going on out front of Shot 97, and they asked you to point yourself out.
I had to point myself out too. I put my.
Plep, were you out there?
No. Low key, man.
You weren't even there that day.
No.
Damn, I'm too
But ain't that enough though? It's like that's what everybody.
Yeah.
This is this.
Okay, have you heard? Because I have a street source that Kim. I'll say allegedly, just because I will, is allegedly cooperating with the feds in terms of giving information, putting world.
Oh, people don't know that.
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
Who's the rat next?
But
Who's the
that's
rat?
not my business to put that out. I don't do that.
Well, it's my business. Let me put it out.
You understand?
This is what the streets are saying. There's a guy named World. Here he is right here. Get World up, Bart.
Are you ready?
World and Kim were boyfriend and girlfriend at one point. World, they right now, Shot 97, shots rang out a few years ago regarding a 50 Cent incident and something about Kim knowing more than she should. She's alleging about World being allegedly at the scene of what is going on.
You're good.
I'm just
you know more than us.
You know, I read the Inquirer, but I also listen to the streets.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is that if she cooperates on that, then she's not going to jail for this. Because that's another incident being investigated from Shot 97, who has since allegedly been kicked out of their building and then moving down to Wall Street.
People that don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know about that. I won't give out that. But I'm just here to protect my sources. You know what I mean? I'm letting people know I was forced by the U.S. government to get subpoenaed to come there. And they let me know before I lie, look at this, 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 look at this.
Do you know this person?
That's
that executive produced your album.
That was clear. To this day, with my jewelry, everything, I said nobody had a gun. And I was telling the truth. I didn't see nobody with a gun.
He said he swears on his jewelry. No, he didn't just say that.
I swear on everything. I swear on everything. I said nobody with us. So what can I possibly tell on her about? Like, what am I snitching on her about?
That's
she didn't do nothing.
Because
what am I snitching on her about?
Nothing. You're saying
the
that
tape shows she
bears me on the tape.
Down on the floor. So
on
what
the
am
sidewalk.
I telling her about? Damn. That she knows somebody that I know, that these people know I know.
That's on your video, one on the left.
That's no matter what they say, video.
Man, one on the left.
Remember, they play all this in court.
Yeah,
come on, man. You've been in there, you know, right? They play no matter what they say.
Now Mafia's right.
They play the kid. They
get off.
All right, I'm gonna give them. Just go. I don't know them.
Yeah,
send me in.
Look,
let me know 1% of the people in the state beat Fed cases. Only one that beat it, that 1% was John Gotti.
Well, no, she might be able to beat this one because
Maybe
she's
so.
got
I
that.
hope she do.
She's talking about that 50 incident that happened years ago.
So she may slide.
So people are calling.
She may slide on ice.
People are calling snitch. Like, you know, you go to court and you got to talk, but we got to know what little Kim's really saying behind closed doors.
That's not going out there because all this stuff is getting sent from her people.
In the newspaper,
all this stuff is getting sent from her people. Now, out of all these people that's up there, who the most popular one behind Kim? Lil Cease. Nobody's saying nothing about nobody else. Remember, Hillary had to get subpoenaed too.
Yeah.
Other people that work at her company.
Yeah.
You know, it's about 40 people in this case. People that was at Shot 97.
Yeah.
It's people that was there.
He said Shot 97.
That get subpoenaed for it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not just about my story. Why? It's just me out there. I'm the next star. I got a good DVD out right now.
Yeah.
100,000. I got a record deal right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking good. I'm driving to something nice. Got good jewelry.
Good
on.
jewelry?
I look like I'm all right.
Yeah.
And I be everywhere. Snitch is high. I be everywhere. And through the hood. Kim don't, we in the same hood. She don't be in my hood. We from the same hood. So
yeah, I was
be
gonna say
there.
she's in Bergen County.
I'm everywhere. I be in parties. I be envy. I be out.
Is it
I by myself.
Is it real what they said about the guns coming from Kim's house that day?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they actually have
Damn.
Shout out Mega Media Records.
You know,
A-Money.
Did you ever overhear through the thinness of the walls, D-Rock beating the coochie?
Oh!
Wow.
I'm just asking.
I mean, man, it's self-explanatory, man. I mean, they sending out everything else. Just send out everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you sending out that, send out everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not thinking about none of that. I look at this like it's a good publicity stunt.
Well,
and I'm
World
using it
is
towards my
biting his
advantage.
fingernails. Shout out to World's mom and all that.
Yeah. Shout out to homie.
Because that's a whole nother case.
Nobody know about that though. We gonna keep that on the hush hush.
We're gonna see what the Post do with that one.
Okay.
You know, I don't think they, but that wasn't my business to put that. You know,
I think I'm supposed to be
got
taking their
opinion
cue
to
and
say
shutting
things.
that
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I can't sit there and elaborate on that. I'm just here elaborating on what was said about me and my people. So
Because you won't elaborate on it, you make me want to shut the hell up too.
No,
even though I know what I heard.
I mean, but this is your job. This is what you.
Yeah, but all
what you hear. Nobody can blame that.
Yeah, but you're one of my best. I've got like a top 10 list of guests who just come and just just talk.
I really don't.
and you're one of those people. So when I see you clamp up about something, then all of a sudden you're making me feel like maybe I'm not supposed to be talking.
No.
So
just everything ain't fully out there yet.
If they call you there, you know what you got to do.
I'm not going nowhere.
You know what I mean? When they call you, you gotta. If you don't go, they put you in the cell. And then you handle your situation from there.
How you doing?
I've been in the cell before, and I ain't trying to be there no more.
Yeah.
I had my share trick. You know, it hurts.
I will
just like that.
I will just give a shout out to World then.
Yeah. And shout out to D-Rock. Shout out to Gutter.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like these people that got
Miss Wallace.
5 years, and you gonna sit there and say they telling what they doing? None of their time got knocked off. They just saying something to these people already know. This whole game is a difference between smart and dumb. I was smart. She was dumb. Her lawyer was dumb. I was smart. My lawyer was smart. My people was smart. Whoever she got around that supposed to be these real dudes and all that, nobody schooled her to the situation.
Does she have a new boyfriend?
Old business. I really don't care who she had.
What are you driving?
A few. An Escalade.
Have you seen the new Infinity, rather?
What, the Jeep?
The truck?
I didn't make no money
crazy.
yet, though.
Shout out to Twin.
I didn't make no money.
My dog got one, a white
People
one.
know that I didn't make no money yet. I don't get them checks probably till
summer.
Later.
So what is the jewelry on borrowed time?
Nah. I just with like this Jesus piece I had before. I just changed the color of it.
Oh, okay. So how did you?
real.
You got it dipped.
That's it.
Oh,
a lot of people do that.
Yeah, a lot of people get their stuff dipped. Exactly.
You know, a lot of people don't do stuff like that, but I'm a dude from the street still. You know what I mean?
This is why I love Cease.
Don't take a million, look like a million. We all know what it is.
Listen,
Free. What up, Free?
We got 2 minutes left on this break.
Uh-huh.
You know, I would love for you to go in the other room and hook up some of this realness for the Wendy show, and including asking you to do how you doing. It's just a greeting.
Okay, I need all that. I got an album coming out April 19th. Riot Music,
Roxy
in stores.
Okay.
Roxy March 9th. Everybody come down there. Anybody that's been talking all the junk, you know, I'll be there Friday. So anybody got any problems, come there on Friday and we can
This is not your last break. You'll be back.
build a new case or something.
Yeah. No, we're not trying to build any
Mafia,
more cases.
baby.
Oh, by the way, did they address you all as the Junior Mafia in the court, or did they call you her backup group or her group or whatever? Because they were trying to get away from that name.
Nah. Well, they basically just said everything. You know.
What?
I was a hype man in there. I was a brother in there. I was a protege. I was big protege. You know, everything come up in there. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, real people know. The average person probably never went through that. You know what I mean? Through all the trouble I've been through, I never had to get on the stand.
How did the jury look? Did they look like Junior Mafia fans, or did they look? I mean, even the black people in there. That's just because you're black doesn't mean you know you're down with the mafia.
Nah. It's a regular. It kind of be like it's mixed. It's a little bit of everything. I mean, it ain't all white. There's black people that's on there. You know,
the church crowd, or the drop it like it's hot crowd, or a little bit of both. It's suburban.
It's like a little bit of everything. It's like a little bit of everything in one. You know?
Yeah.
It'd be a few of them up there.
Yeah.
I didn't really look at them. I was just more looking at the lawyers and people that was asking me the questions.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, you're going to take them to the other room, and we're going to have you back in here.
Okay.
All right. It's Clep. It's Lil Cease, the Junior Mafia.
Yo, bang, shout out bang. He on his way up in the middle there. All right.
Wendy, man.
My oldest brother, he told me he had a very good surprise. The surprise was that he turned himself into a woman.
The Wendy Williams experience.
It is so crazy behind the scenes. I'm trying to get ready to do this red carpet for VH1. So I got some of my clip-in hairs in. I got like a stadium cut going on right now, but I feel as though I'm amongst family, so who the hell cares? I've got one eyelash on and one off. I'm running back and forth between my office. Shout out to Steve Lindsay. He's getting me ready for the red carpet. And I'm trying to talk, gully with Lil Cease here. Shout out, hey, Bang.
Yeah, Bang in the house, dude, y'all.
And Clep is here. Okay, this is really crazy. I got some of the court papers here. So then when they ask him, in fact, you've seen him, meaning Suf Jackson, many times before. Isn't that right? And she says, no. And they said at the court, do you know if Suf Jackson was associated with Damian Butler? And she says, no, I don't know if he was. Wow, it's weird to read it, Cease.
That's it. That's when she got subpoenaed.
Isn't it also a fact that when you exited the radio station and came onto the sidewalk, Damian Butler was there? No, not that I know of, like I told you. When you say you don't know Damian Butler too well, do you know him a little bit? I think I've seen him, but I don't know him too well. I don't know his name. Where do you think you may have seen him? I think I've seen him around. He's a familiar face. Has he ever been to your home? No. Do you recall where you saw Suf Jackson? He looks familiar. I don't know him. Let's get back to Damian Butler. This is a man she was banging out at her house, and a man who filed his taxes and had them sent to a house.
No, that was safe. That was gutter. That was
gutter?
Papers that was sent to that. That's the one she said she didn't know. But his papers getting sent to a house. And all these questions, all that, that's on court TV, on the internet, and you can just load that up anywhere. Did she deny
knowing you?
Nah.
Oh,
okay. It wasn't even about that. Okay. You know what I mean? But it's self-explanatory. I mean, come on, yo. We've been family for years, and it's nothing we could get around, yo. They all knew that.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that.
They seen video.
It's like, all right, what we told on you. First of all, you didn't do nothing.
When is this trial over?
Oh, who knows?
Bang Bang, you just walked in.
Holla, Bang. You just came out of there.
You just came out of the courtroom.
Just came out of there.
This is how you dressed?
I'm a kid.
But you know what? Get on the mic. Bang bang. Well, what's your name? So when we read in the
you gonna read about him
what's
tomorrow?
your government name?
In the papers tomorrow.
Antoine. Okay, so because everybody, they might not call him Banger in the thing. Antoine and Banger. What kind of stuff did they ask you? He just came out of the courtroom. Everybody.
They just asked me the same things. What's up? Like, they were just asking stupid questions like 30 times, basically, to be honest with you.
To try to trip you up, maybe.
Yeah, to try to keep asking me the same question over and over just to see if I change my answer. But it's elementary, man. It's like, there's no way out, man.
Did they show you the tape and ask you to point yourself out on the sidewalk, too?
Yeah, I had to do that.
There I go.
Yeah. What I'm alive for?
Why you gonna say he's not there?
30 people say they seen me there. What I'm gonna say? I'm not there.
So that's what Kim doing. She fighting against 40 people that's saying she was there.
And the tape.
Kim is keeping it. Let me just be clear. Kim is keeping it real dumb.
Oh shoot!
Real dumb.
Did you keep your Mitchell and Ness cap on in the courtroom?
Nah, you can't. See, you can't wear that. See, I heard you saying that. You can't wear no hats.
Okay.
And you're supposed to wear jewelry. You're supposed to go in there shining like you just have. That's how she going there.
Did you see Capone in there?
Nah.
Okay. I think Capone
came there a little bit later than
Steve, our court reporter.
That's my man. Shout out to Capone, Nori, and all.
Yeah. Shout out to Capone,
my peoples, man.
Yeah.
I'm taking time out to give shout outs too.
fam,
It's a
no,
beautiful
it was
day.
there
It's
and
hot
all that,
outside.
I missed them. I came a little late today.
Were you listening to the radio on your way over? Did you hear us talking about World?
Yeah, y'all was accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all knew a little bit more than y'all knew exactly
more
what somebody
than we
was
knew.
just telling me.
Yeah.
I want
come
to see
on,
them
man.
pull out of that one.
Yeah.
We just wanted to come in and just clear our name and say whatever is whatever. We everywhere, you know. If
Now, what do you say to
anybody-
the internet fans who now hate on all of you? According
Kiss
to
ass. That's it.
He's holding his joint while he's saying
Yeah,
that.
yeah, all that. Please see me when you see me. I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
And I got an album coming out, so I'm gonna be all over the place anyway. So you know.
Nobody pointing no fingers, said they seen nobody with no guns and nothing like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all
That's
that
telling.
snitch, that's not no. Yeah, that's telling. But when you say you don't know somebody and you hanging with them every day, you're taking flights with them, like. That's dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get that. Like, I just can't get that, man. That's like me saying I don't know Clep. And I'm with him every
Is
day.
Hillary's relationship with Kim going to be salvaged if she gets off? Or is Hillary taking flight and she's totally out of it and Kim would never...
Hillary probably looking for another job.
Yeah.
Probably.
She gonna need it.
She gonna need it.
How's Gene doing?
He gonna need one too.
This is plain and simple.
And what's her friend's name, Monique?
Shout out to Mo. Mo, my peoples, man. Mo is caught up in a situation right now. And
Sad situation. She gotta follow a dummy.
How does Kim look in court? I mean, you know...
ridiculous.
Do the face, man.
She look like a Muppet.
They said she looked like Lion from Thundercats.
She looking real stupid. I can't believe I'm
You know,
sorry for her, man. I feel sorry.
I mean, but at the end of the day, I don't want to see nobody go that way.
Exactly.
It's just that you got to be smart and you got to be prepared for these type of situations when they come about.
Yeah.
I don't think she was prepared the right way. I don't think she had the right people around the school about the situation the right way. And it's sad to say that.
Would Biggie have been able to school her better?
Of course. Yeah, Big was smart. Man.
If I was around, I would have schooled her better.
Yeah, but you guys weren't cool with her at that
She
particular
wasn't
time.
speaking to us. I mean, we
That's
reached
right.
out. Listen, this is gonna be clear. I used to talk to Gene. I used to talk to Man. I used to talk to people that work at the label every day, and they're like, "Yo, I'm gonna give her your number, yo. When she call you, she gonna call you."
Right.
And you know what I mean? I see them again, be like, "Yo, what's up?" Oh, Kim said when she ready, she gonna call you. Like I'm trying to send her a demo or something.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I
Now she
reached
in the
out and
doula.
tried to do the peace thing plenty of times. That's word too big.
I did too.
You know what I mean? I did that plenty of times. It didn't work. And I said, you know what? I gotta stop thinking about that and really think about myself. You don't mess with me, whatever. Hey.
Banger, did you ever hear D-Rock hitting the Skins?
Oh!
Why wouldn't I?
See? I mean, who
didn't? Let's keep it gangster. Since she wanna be gangster, who didn't? How to sound?
Come on, man.
Who didn't hit it or who didn't hear
And
it?
when she come at me, I'm gonna come back more because I got
Right.
some more ammunition.
Let's get clear.
I just don't want to fire on her yet. Till she fire on me.
Who didn't hear it from with D-Rock or who hasn't hit it?
Who hasn't?
Hit it.
Hit it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good, wake up.
Can we name
That's
names?
a better. Not yet. We gonna hold that one. We gonna hold that. We gonna hold that. We gonna pull that out of our back pocket just in case she asks.
Nah.
Shout out to my mama,
Announce it
too.
at the Roxy.
Shout out to my mom.
March 9th.
That's
know,
right.
The
We gonna
best
announce
rappers
it.
alive.
Roxy.
Wednesday night. Do that.
All right, Wednesday night at the Roxy.
Performing
Jada
live,
Kiss,
Jada Kiss,
Mobb Deep,
Sanchez,
I'm in there. I'm in there. I
Institute,
got my comedy
and Junior
experience. I'm
Mafia.
coming right up in there.
Live and direct. You may have other
Media,
surprise guests too that come down in
All
there
right,
too.
wait a
So
minute,
it's
Cease.
gonna be off the hook. Shout out to my mother too. Mommy, hey.
I'm listening.
How did it sound?
Oh. What did she say in
Yeah, she cursing and she's screaming.
Yeah.
She's looking like an asshole, man. Excuse my language. She's looking
She
crazy.
mean with D-Rock.
She look with the
Yeah, with the D-Rock situation.
during sex, what she say during
How did it
sex?
sound? How did it
yeah,
sound?
ate mouth face. It was real long.
And then they saying something.
long.
And then they were
Face
saying
looked
something about.
droopy.
And then they were saying something about D-Rock. Told D-Rock came in and said refused to answer any questions. They just asked him his name and made him stand up in court and told him to go ahead. So they was out there saying that Rock was telling too. This is all information that come from her camp. Where they just giving it to the papers and the papers just
Papers running
they
with it.
feed
What
to
are
them.
we working on a new DVD here? Because we've been on camera the
Oh
whole
yeah,
time.
this is part 2 of DVD, The
Oh,
Matrix
shoot.
Reloading, The Case. This is the next DVD we working on. Where you know, if we talking like this now, just imagine what's on the DVD. You know,
Watch
so.
out for the
Look
Chronicles
out for
Gold Party.
Oh, we money now. Everything is money with us now. We're grown folks now.
Okay.
Everything is money.
We just ordinary people.
I want to thank you all for coming in.
Yeah.
I'd like to see my guest exit.
All right, listen, hold on. Shout out to Free. Yo, my man Hal, yo, Rule.
Mega Media, what up,
dude,
what up?
Take
my
it
baby
easy,
girl,
Free.
Chrissy, my sisters, my nieces, nephews, everybody out there.
Damn,
I love all
I
y'all,
got the
yo.
DVD and I got
Roxy,
it.
Roxy,
Rock
Roxy.
music, yo. Come
April
on.
19th.
We back, yo.
One.
Wendy, man.
I go just to get to that fucking Yeah, honey, you did it again, honey. You did it again.
The Wendy Williams Experience.
That's 1-888-304-WALK or avonwalk.org.
Oh my gosh. 1, 2, y'all. Gotcha. Stepping around with Junior Mafia. Yeah, when the feds spend so much money on a trial, isn't somebody doing something just to make good on it? Oh my goodness. Kim.
Wow. You're in the hood now, baby.
No, it's not funny, Art.
It's funny when you said that. I'm laughing at the way you said it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, not her. You. When you said it.
When the feds spend this much money on a trial, look, they're interviewing everybody. This has been going on now for a week. Now we're into the second week of this. We got our Wendy Williams Experience courtside reporter, one of our interns, Steve. He's been going there every day because he only lives 2 blocks from the courthouse. Now we got them coming in and talking to us about it, and it's on the front page. I mean, when they spend money, do they just let you off? Or do they give you 1,000 chances to say, okay, I know everybody. I know D-Rock, I know this, I know that. They give you 1,000 chances.
In the first week.
In the first week, they'll
give you the benefit of the doubt because they're spending all this cash. You know, lawyers, court people.
No, I think the benefit of the doubt started before the trial even began.
I'm sure it did.
Like, look, let's just say something.
But now when they start to call all these witnesses.
Lil Cease was saying they've had phones tapped there with the Mafia and Kim for 2 years. You know all the crap they've heard on those phone lines? Yo, I don't want to say somebody's going down, not for nothing, while Kim is trying to allegedly throw World under the bus. They might take her down. Wow. Just for GP. And lying. We gave you 25 different ways. We got 2 years of phone taps, tapes of you standing outside of there I go. Look, Banger was perfect with that, was he? Said, there I go. On the tape.
I'll be right there.
Yeah, I'll be right there. Yo, Cease was like, F it, I'll wear a T-shirt to court. Yeah. I always love talking to them, now the Junior Mafia. Do we still call them that?
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they independent entities? Like the Junior Mafia consists of Kim and them? But now they're still the Junior Mafia, just no Kim.
No, Kim is Labella. She has her own
That's right, Labella Mafia.
She has her own thing.
Yeah, well, quite possibly you wouldn't be in trouble all by your lonely. If you did your dirt all by your lonely. Even though that wasn't dirt on Little Kim's part. You know, it's not even like all she had to do was say, yeah, I know him. And there I go.
We're in the hood now, baby.
Yeah, we're in the hood now, baby. Mel Sachs, get me off. You need to play the intern music for Mel Sachs because that's about how fast he'll have to be working to make something happen with this. Mel back and forth to court. Consulting his Owitzes and his Steens in terms of what he should do. Oh, Mel. You think Hillary's really looking for a new job in Gene and Dem? Why am I talking like this? Why did I say in Dem? I'm sorry. Sometimes when you talk about hoodness, you start
getting hoodish.
Hoodish. I tried to. Was that Eve?
Yes.
I walked in the middle?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I saw her in the Gwen Stefani thing, too. I like their friendship, Eve and Gwen.
Ow.
I do. Well, whatever. I like it. A-Marie's going to be performing that song and Why Can't We Fall in Love and stuff on Saturday at Brokers. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm hosting Saturday night. Busy. You know, BLS has a live broadcast, too, coming up. Brokers in New Jersey. That's this coming Saturday. But on Friday, March 25th, the BLS live broadcast is at a place called Lounge 42 on West Broad Street in Mount Vernon. We've got weeks before this broadcast. I'll give you all the information. Right now, I'm suffering from anxiety. I've got a mullet and one set of eyelashes, and the Junior Mafia was shooting a DVD.
Oh, they chinchilla?
No.
Oh, not yet? Okay.
No.
Still being made. I'm sorry. Still being made.
How do I look? I've got a mullet, so my hair on top, I got like 3 hairs on top of my head, but all this around the sides. The rest of it is not attached to the top. I'm working the red carpet.
It's not a mullet.
No, it's not a mullet.
And one set of eyelashes. And what do I have? One eye done and the other eye is still bald. And the Junior Mafia is up here shooting a DVD. And I can't tell them for the sake of vanity, don't use my part. I guess what I'm trying to do is warn you all ahead of time. When you see them in the studio interviewing, you can be like, who that is? Yeah. And then I'm going to say, there I is. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. It's the comedy awards or whatever's going on at the Beacon Theater. I'm working the red carpet. What a fine mess I look like. How do I look? I feel like I'm at home with family, so, nobody's trying to sleep with anybody in this piece. So, I'm not feeling any ways. I need to go clip the rest of my hair in. And put my other lashes on. Damn. Junior Mafia, please don't use that footage. No, please. Damn. You're in the hood now, baby. I'd rather be seen with a mullet on a Junior Mafia DVD than... Yeah, life can be worse. I never said I was a damn supermodel anyway. Although LA weight loss, sometimes I get carried away. 1-800-448-TRIM. It's a perfect time to talk about LA weight loss. That's actually what the purpose of this break was. The people in National are waiting for us, by the way. We got to get back to them. I'm on LA weight loss. Well, actually, I'm on maintenance. I think I'm well on my way to maintaining this weight. God, I hope for the rest of my life. I don't care about losing any more weight. I just don't want to gain anymore. You understand what I'm saying? If I could stay this way forever, I would love it. And thank you, LA Weight Loss, for being a big reason that my mullet and my one eyelash is the only thing I'm worried about when the camera's rolling. Like, I'm not trying to look for fat angles or anything like that, because it is what it is. I'm not a thin girl. I never will be. But LA Weight Loss has given me at least the confidence that I'm not always... You know how you see people pulling at their shirts all the time, trying to unstick stuff from in between their rolls and what... always pulling. And I don't do that anymore. Thank you, LA Weight Loss. For what it's worth, I'll give you the telephone number. They're wonderful. They are affordable. That you get your one-on-one weight loss counselor. You eat real food. Listen, let's be real. We all know being overweight affects who we are. You get less energy. Many people have lower self-esteem, although they wouldn't admit it. And worse yet, obesity brings on some serious health-related issues for real, like high blood pressure, like diabetes, stroke, and osteoporosis. Respiratory problems, I could go on and on. LA Weight Loss is that combination of regular food and going out to restaurants, if you want. LA Weight Loss has been around since 1987. You lose the weight, not the lifestyle. It's simple, affordable, and maintainable. Find out what millions of people know already. Call LA Weight Loss, 1-800-448-TRIM. LA Weight Loss, thank you so much, really. 1-800-448-TRIM. I love you. And now we return to more commercials. Damn, let me go put the rest of my hair on. This is absolutely, I am embarrassed by this. Sometimes I don't know how I manage. It's the Wendy Williams experience. So much going on today. I can see I'm going to leave this damn show today. I'm going to have so much left on my desk that I'm going to toss and turn tonight. I hate when I can't finish my thoughts for the day. Dear Wendy, I'd like to make a comment about Oprah and Hallie's movie last night. Oprah says this was the best love story. Not. Can Hallie make a movie without her legs open all the time? This is the second dud for Oprah. Beloved was the first. Well, I think that's the way people like to see Hallie. I mean, you gotta sex things up a little bit. I mean, come on now. I didn't see Beloved. All right. Alicia Keys, by the way, has written a song for Whitney Houston. That's Alicia's plan to put Whitney back on top. Here's what Alicia says. I'm sorry for being out of breath, you all. I'm running with my makeup cape on. I got a quarter of hair left to clip in. And how do my eyes look, Art?
Yes, they're on point.
Okay.
Because it's a smoky effect.
Yeah.
America's Next Top Model.
What the hell is going on over there?
See the smoky
Who is that?
effect.
Your Hennessy bottle that just fell out of your bag?
It's protein shake.
Oh, that's what they say. Having trouble getting it up, dear boy? It looks great, as I have written a duet for her and she loves it. We plan to get it down and on to the next album. I drew on her for inspiration. She was the voice that made me want to come musically. I'm overjoyed that she loves the track. That's great. All right, let's get to 50 Cent, because there's a whole lot. I got like 5 pages stapled together regarding my 50 thing. No, I don't want any background music. You know what? I'll just take this all in news form. I don't even feel like reciting. I am so winded and I feel so rushed. I'm still reeling over Cease and them being here. Quite frankly. And I told you I have a blind item to get to. Plus, I still want to talk to Genuine. Okay, I can tell you about him real quick. He's turned his life over to the Lord. He walked to the front of the church a few weeks ago, and he became
born again?
Yes. He's and Soleil is already there and already a member of that church. They are still married. They've got their children and they're happy together. So good for Genuine and Soleil. And what I was going to tell you real quick about Escape, the one Candy who does all the writing, isn't that her name? Candy Burgess. That's the one who's not in the group. Well, she's upset because the girls in the group were painting her with some kind of, nasty brush. Like, well, she don't want to be down. So, she's hard to work with and all like that. And Candy says, no, they're painting me in a way that I don't want to be painted. We could not come to terms, me and the other girls. So they elected to have another girl in the group Escape. That's it in a nutshell, just in case I don't get back to elaborate on that story today. And I can do it tomorrow. Okay, let's get to 50 Cent. I'm sorry. All right, calm down. Wait, hold on.
Stupid.
Damn.
You ready?
No. Okay, go ahead. With the massacre. Wait, no, I don't want to do this one. Let me do this page. By the way, it's all over the internet, game stripping. Yes, honey. He wasn't just changing hearts. He was a stripper. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not like that 50 was saying wrong information. It's that the way in which he was saying it. Hey, after stripping and changing hearts, anything goes.
I'm not.
All right.
Your news ready.
Hit it, Art. The streets are abuzz about a rumored Game, Nas, and Jadakiss diss track. 50 Cent dissed Eminem and Dr. Dre. Jadakiss prepares for lyrical warfare, and Fat Joe gives 50 a treat. Jadakiss, Game, Nas united against 50. Well, rumors have circulated that former G-Unit soldier Game has teamed up with Queenbridge Kingpin, Nas, and D-Block's Jadakiss for a diss track aimed at 50. The rumored collabo is supposed to take place today and be produced by the Terror Squad duo of Cool and Dre. Word has it that Rikers Island inmate Shine will intro the track. Why you gotta get him in on it? I mean, really. I mean,
audio all messed up.
Yeah, Shine, no disrespect, but, we'll see you when you come out, if anybody still cares. Right now, we got to deal with everybody that's out on the town, as you would say. Why you got to put him on it? However, none of the mentioned parties have confirmed such a collaboration is indeed in progress. Is 50 turning his back on Eminem and Dr. Dre? Well, people are saying that all signs say yes. I don't even have to read that. All signs say yes. Jadakiss tells 50 the champ is here. Oh, no doubt. Okay. They got quotes from my show from this article. So you heard that, actually. All right. Let me go into this one. Oh, okay. Did I really do this in in my mind? I just pictured Game coming out to Disco Inferno. No. Yeah, girl. Oh, come on. In the meantime, The arrest Thursday outside 106 in Park. The guy's name is Gene Bernard. He's 28. He was arrested at the studio where BET is located. A 50 spokesperson isn't saying anything. Earlier reports suggested that by arresting him, we can get close, or they could get closer to the affiliation of who did the shooting out in front of Shot 97. Excuse me. Blah, blah, blah. You're in the hood now, baby. Shout out to Bridgeport. I'm getting the key tomorrow. Tomorrow's the rain date. Yeah, so I'll be up there tomorrow. I'm doing a book signing. I got so much to get to. Let me continue on. What?
No, I was telling him.
Have you ever seen Zane, the writer?
Yes.
Okay, then don't leave me hanging unless you really want to. Have a backbone and give your opinion. All I'm saying is if you're writing about all that tying up and de-essing and giving professionals and all that old sex that Zane talks about, what is this?
Look better than that.
If I was writing Zane books, I would have hired somebody like a Superhead or, Jessica Rabbit or somebody. Yeah, you go out and do all the publicity. I give you, $100 for every, you hire, a girl who was on the come up. You pose as me and we get this paper. This is a suburban housewife here. All of a sudden, I'm not buying into all the professionals and all the tying up and all the sexual scandality. This is my first time actually seeing her. I've even interviewed with her. She wasn't that good on the telephone. I guess she's probably better in person. I'll tell you what, she wields a mean pen. And I'm pumping my fist for her, the millions of dollars that she's made off them Zane books, because there's not a chick in the hood and the boardroom that hasn't read a Zane book at some point or another. I mean, she's getting the gamut. And you know what, Art? And the cow has nothing to do with it, okay? Because there are plenty of big sisters who know how to work their look. All I'm saying, and look, all I'm saying is that this is not.
She's ugly too. She is?
Jamie.
Yeah.
You read Zane books before you actually saw her?
Yes.
And what did you think that you were?
Well, I pictured the way she describes her characters, the female characters.
Exactly. And when you look at the covers of the books, you don't expect it necessarily for her to. All I'm saying is, wouldn't you have hired
I would have hired somebody to front me.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying this is a bad-looking woman. She's good-looking. They just did a makeover for her, but look what she looked like when she walked in.
Damn.
I'm telling you what, though, she wields a mean. Look in the March issue of Essence magazine on page 84, and look at Zane.
Ankles.
You look at Zane.
Yeah, no, my tent just went down.
Yeah.
But the whole, every time I read a Zane book now, I'm going to be like, that wrote this? Her husband must be happy. She's 34. She looks older than that. It's not even drop it like it's high.
No, it's not.
I mean, no matter what your size, you know what I'm saying. Even if dropping it like it's hot is not her personality, it would seem to me like if I was writing sexed up books and stuff like that, I would definitely dress the character or hire somebody to do it. If it really wasn't me because I got kids and stuff like that.
She ain't dropping nothing.
What?
She not dropping nothing. Like kids.
Like you ready with another cheeseburger in Burger King or something.
Oh boy. Ja Rule is scheduled to appear in court today. Hope everything went well up there in Toronto, Canada. The charges stem from an incident back in June where he was at a club called La Rouge nightclub in Toronto. That's in the entertainment district. I guess that means, And they said the charges were a result of an attack punch. Excuse me, an alleged punch. I'm reading all wrong. That was initially reported as a stabbing. He was released on $10,000 bail, but he had to go up there and talk to the authorities regarding it. Hey, Mrs. Roll. Brigitte Nielsen got married. Sorry, Flav. I saw the incident again over the weekend where Flav was reporting and flipped all the tables over in the dressing room. I still haven't seen the full episode where his kids show up outside the church and he goes crazy. That's next week. I am so there. Give me my reporter music. Go.
Okay, here we go.
Dateline today, The Experience. Towering celebrity Brigitte Nielsen has tied the knot for the 6th time to her pint-sized Italian lover. The 6'2" Danish actress wed 5'6" barman Mattia Desi in a beachside ceremony in the Dominican Republic. Desi is 26, making him 15 years Brigitte's junior. The pair met at a Swiss hotel where he worked, and now they live in Milan. Brigitte wore a pink rose tiara during the ceremony. Desi said after the ceremony, "Yes, it's true, we married. It was all very sudden, but we're both happy." The former actress, famous for yada, 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 Flav wasn't even mentioned in the brouhaha. She couldn't understand black love. You saw how she flipped out when he flipped out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? or should I just say crazy love? Because, Sylvester Stallone on steroids is probably no. By the way, what is up with the 50 CD cover and all what's inside and stuff? He better never have to go on any stand, any place, all them guns ablazing. And imagine the mood swings when, does he juice up? That's a rhetorical question. I'm not looking for you to give me an answer that I already have in my head. Do you understand how non-functioning it must all be? I mean, that's the first thing I think of whenever I see a man all, I'm like, wow, ain't nothing going on. And the mood swings must be crazy. Have you looked inside the CD cover of The Massacre? Art, do you have a CD cover of The Massacre in here?
I will get it.
Quickly. Thank you. Yeah. Reverend Al Sharpton's calling for a ban on gangster rap. There has to be a way to step in and regulate what's going on the airwaves and with the violence. The airwaves are being used to romanticize urban violence. No, this is not from me. I've seen it already and come up with my conclusion. Here, pass it around to the intern corner. Girls, and Steve, you gotta rifle through and see the other pictures too. Yeah, he points to, it's in the game, "Come and Get Me, You Little Bitch." That's during a game concert. By the way, that concert happened over the weekend out in California. Game was on stage, and at the end of the concert, he cried, you all. At first, he was like, "Come and get me," and, "Here I is," and like that. And then at the end of the concert, he started crying. Well... What now? All right, you guys. Look, we're going to go into the boogity break. And we've got a bit more of the show to go. It is what it is. Let me go get the rest of my makeup done. Damn, why do I have to look like this?
Wendy, man.
Hello?
What's going on, Remy? What happened with you and Gloria Velez?
Talking mad reckless to me. FYI, I never got robbed in my life.
Okay.
You letting Gloria Velez rob me.
The Wendy Williams Experience.
Yes, it's the Wendy Williams Experience, everybody. Hello, hello. Halle Berry last night in the movie with her new boyfriend. And here's what she says. Did I tell you this already? Well, she talked to the Page 6. You might have even read it in the New York Post. And she says, what must you do to have a man stay faithful? She asks the question. And so she says, a woman has to be a friend, independent, ladylike, shy, and yet a freak in the bed. I feel sexual confidence, but there's only a certain amount of bullshit I'm willing to take. Besides, I wield a certain power now that I didn't feel before. Yeah. Well, at least she's learned from, the crap that has happened to her in her love life, and you just become stronger and stronger as a human being. And for what it's worth, the guy looks like he really makes her. I mean, they make a good looking couple, and I bet you she's genuinely happy with him. So that's all that counts. That movie last night, though, was, I feel like I stayed up way beyond my bedtime and missed the 10 o'clock news for that. Have you heard anything about Janet Jackson already married to Jermaine Dupri? Not that it matters, because at this point, even if they aren't married, it's about to happen. Well, Brett Ratner, who happens to be the boyfriend of, what is it, Serena or Venus? Serena Williams. He believes that it's so. And here's what this says. It says, if Rush Hour director Brett Ratner is to be believed, Jermaine has been refused to as a married man in the former's new video come documentary on Mariah Carey titled It's Like That. Ratner even followed MTV cameras to capture Jermaine as a party guest in the new video. Jermaine and Ratner go way back. I used to hang out in his place called Magic City in Atlanta. I used to bump into him all the time, but now that he's a married man, he don't go there anymore. Well, I don't know whether they're married or whether this is, people use that term. It's like wifey. What else do I have going on? The animal rights protesters continue to badger Jennifer Lopez. I like how Kimora addresses that. I wish somebody would. Yes, I like fur, and I wish they would. I got some nice furry boots from the Jennifer Lopez Design Studio. As a matter of fact, they're the same ones. If you've seen the video or you saw the fashion show, do you remember boots that were laced up but untied and zhuzhed down in the off-white color with all the fur? There was only one pair. They happened to have been size 11. Literally, Andy Hilfiger took them off the mannequin that's outfitted in the same outfit in Jennifer Lopez design room and gave them to me, and they fit. And I was going to wear them today, except it's like 70 degrees outside. Besides, when I work a red carpet, you can only see from shoulders up. But they gave them to me. They're mine. But she works with fur. And so the animal rights people are protesting. Volunteers for PETA, they say, campaigned outside the Virgin Records store in Times Square last week to protest Jennifer's use of animal skins and the content of animal skins in her fashion line. But they say the sexy superstar defiantly waved to protesters and fans assembled outside the store. And she was wearing a coat lined with fox fur. I hear that. PETA, give up. She worked too hard to come up off the block to miss out on anything luxurious that this life has to offer. Diamonds mined by one-legged frogs. I'm sorry. You understand? Bentleys built by baboons. Or chinchillas. Oh, they had to go at some point. I mean, why is it that all this stuff has to come out now that she's luxuriating? Luxuriate. Make no apologies. Hey, Kimora, we know you don't. Somebody's got to wear them. They don't get at the Gastineau girls. I love that show. Don't you? I love that show. And by the way, Lisa Gastineau is not 40. That's 47 looking at you. That's a bad 40. I mean, I understand the whole premise of the show, but she says she's 40. That's a bad 40. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bad 40. But the other girl is cute. Actually, you know what? The other girl... The other girl makes me want to take all highlights out of my hair and just be brown hair. Shout out to all the girls who are just natural brown hair. You know what? There are so many of you all with such beautiful... Naomi Campbell. I love when it's just brown, like the roots from her head. Even, it's we love that. Catherine Zeta-Jones. What? Makes you want to throw away any bleach. Demi Moore. That's nice hair. This Gastineau girl. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the natural... I hear that. Did you guys see the pictures in advance of Mariah Carey on the cover of the April Essence magazine? The article says, Mariah, America's most misunderstood black woman. You're not misunderstood. Although, you know what? You know what I say about Mariah? You know what I say about Halle Berry, and you push your hair back and you lay like Beyonce. Look how Mariah is laying on the cover. Look at Mariah's cover shot of Essence magazine. She's got the do me. Oh, Mariah. Okay, I had a blind item for you people. Are you ready? My guess is one-on-one, incidentally. Did you give this to me, Jamie? I co-sign with you. Jamie says her guess is one-on-one, too. She's one of our interns. All right, now listen close. And then I got to get ready to go. Despite the family-friendly image a popular sitcom displays on television, sources say behind-the-scenes shenanigans are far from friendly. Two of the show's male stars almost came to blows recently and had to be separated by fellow cast members. One of the actresses on the series was forced to lose weight, so she opted to have liposuction. Not my little black girlfriend. What's her name in real life? Not Kyla Pratt. Oh, Lord, let me continue. Producers later chastised the teenage actress for the quick fix. In other words, you got liposuction? A former employee of the show has filed a sexual harassment suit. Well, excuse me, I don't want to say which one, but I heard. And as a matter of fact, I was going to bring that in and share it today, but I still want to do my investigative report. You know what? This is one-on-one. Hold on. Don't put that sign down. A former employee of the show has filed a sexual harassment suit against one of the principal stars. Yes. Lastly, one of the actors involved in the previously mentioned brawl refused to speak to a guest star when said guest extended his hand. I ain't supposed to know you, the actor said, while the actor-singer stood there insulted. Now, who's an actor-singer? Brian McKnight, who's been on that show. All I'm saying is this is one-on-one. We're going to investigate this, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Flex, you're a friend of the show, but when it falls on Front Street, got to talk. Flex Alexander, is this you? Kyla Pratt, did you get liposuction? No, you didn't. Well, like I said, it's a blind item, so nobody knows, but we'll investigate and get to the bottom of it. All right, you guys, I got to go. I love you for listening. I'm being pushed out. Bye.
These party people. See you later.
Good night. Program complete.
New York City, keep it where you got it. The Gangsta Hour is coming up next. 107.5 WBLS. Now that's what's up.
Since you've been listening this far, we're going to throw in a little bonus hour. You ready?
How long is this bonus hour gonna last? I'm getting addicted.
No, let me tell you, I love this extra hour.
Everything is organic here on the bonus hour.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, yo, check this out. It's Wendy, man.
Here it is.
It's the bonus hour on the Wendy Williams Experience.
107.5 WBLS, New York.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the bonus hour of the show. I was reading my new Essence magazine. Shout out to everybody over at Essence. You're doing a beautiful job. And thank you for sending me my free subscriptions here at the radio station. If it's free, it's for me. You know how that goes. But in the March Essence, in the style makeover section, they have the author Zane. Now, if you know anything about, and we were talking about this earlier on the show, but if you know anything about Zane, her books are pure sex. I mean, just pure tie you up, gag your mouth, the most scandalous affairs, the most scandalous people doing the most scandalous. Oh, and she's a bestseller. Over and over again, this woman makes her living off writing fabulous books. Zane is her pen name. And up until recently, we had no idea what Zane looked like. But judging by the sexy silhouettes and the sexy images on the front of her books, and then reading all of the sex pouring through the pages, I don't think anybody's expecting this. In the March issue on page 84 of Essence magazine, this is not a bad-looking woman, but this is not who I think people have in mind when they read Zane books. I'm in by no way disrespecting this woman because I've already interviewed with Zane before. Are you familiar with the Zane books?
Yes.
Well, meet Zane.
She talked on the phone that time.
But the way she writes is pure sex. And what I was about to say to everybody is something that I said earlier, and that is that if I were Zayn, I would have hired some Jessica Rabbit type person to go around and pose as me to keep it coming. Because after seeing Zayn, well, God, I could run into this woman at the food town.
You don't want to write a book no more.
I don't even, well, I continue to support Zayn in her books. All I'm saying is it's not a good look for this woman that I'm looking at to be the face of the Zayn. Just keep writing, and you should have had a superhead or something like that do all of your press. You just stay in the back pimping the entire book world. This right here makes me go limp. I got a hard time reading Zayn books now, associating with this woman. It's not the same. It's not the same. And this is after the makeover. Look how she walked in the before picture.
Oh, Lord.
See? That's Zayn. You know what I'm saying?
Zayn.
I mean, when you put it out, they're all hot and popping. You know what I mean? She's a housewife. She lives in Maryland with her husband, who supports, all of her efforts, of course, as well as he should. It's $1 million empire. And she's got her kids and stuff like that. But, yeah, no, this is... that's not good. In terms of, imaging. I am doing a red carpet right after this. And I'm doing it for my Wendy Williams is on Fire show on VH1. I'm going right over to the Beacon Theater as soon as I say goodbye to you guys. I'm working the red carpet for the Comedy Love Call 2005. It's actually a comedy thing to benefit autism here in this country. One of my good friends has an autistic son. I'm sure, we're all familiar with autism, but I can't wait to get to the red carpet because I got to tell you, my favorite person on the red carpet is not even a person. He's a dog. Triumph, the, what do you call it, dog? Triumph, the no-nonsense dog.
The angry dog.
The insult. The insult comic. Yeah, because, Triumph and I, we can really get it on. I mean, he'll probably say some insulting things to me, too, but I got a couple back for him, and then we're going to talk about other people. He'll be honest like no other celebrity. Yeah. Adam Sandler is on the red carpet. Conan O'Brien, Jon Stewart, Tina Fey, some other people.
Star-studded.
Yeah, it's going to be a star-studded thing over at the Beacon Theater. First white thing I ever heard going on at the Beacon. I thought that was our spot. For the beauty barn. And then plays. Incidentally, I have a pair of extra passes. You want to go over there afterwards?
Of course.
Here.
I'm there.
Okay.
Trev, you come with me? Really?
You guys do me a favor, walk the red carpet. Walk the red... Oh, please.
Well, let's walk on the red carpet.
No. Listen, walk the red carpet. We'll make it a funny bit. Walk on the red carpet.
Okay.
I mean, try. Try.
Yeah.
Try. I mean, if you can.
Yeah.
You know what? As a matter of fact, walk the red carpet and start something. Get off me! Get off me!
Who?
Just start with whoever. just start something. And then I'll capture it on the cameras.
Okay.
And hopefully it won't end up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
For the next Wendy Williams is on Fire show.
That's your call.
Listen, if I could ever make it to a cutting room meeting. The people at VH1 do a really good job of cutting up the show. I've never made it to a meeting. I'm an executive producer, but who has time? Sometimes you do things in name only. I like to call on who my guests are going to be, and the shots and all like that. But when it comes time for the actual editing, that becomes sometimes a situation. Now, my partner, my executive co-producer, who would be, my lover, now he's in on all the cutting room. Dear Wendy, please help. I need advice badly, and here's my problem. I'm a 39-year-old woman who's been married for 13 years to a wonderful man. We have 3 children together. Their ages are 10, 7, and 5. My husband has been my rock since day one. He's an accountant and makes very good money. We live in a beautiful house in Westchester and have 3 vehicles at our disposal. Sidebar, these people sound fabulous. What could the problem be? Well, here we go. Wendy, for the past 10 years, he has worked very hard to support his family and my dream of becoming a lawyer. Well, finally, 4 years ago, I graduated from law school, passed the bar, and became a lawyer. Just when I landed my job at a major corporate firm, my youngest child, she was 1 at the time, became ill. The doctor discovered she had a major heart defect, but through surgery, it could be corrected. Now, Wendy, I faced a big dilemma. Should I give up my dream job to take care of my child, or should my husband and I pay for a full-time nurse to take care of her while we're at work? After discussing it with my husband, we came to the conclusion that one of us should be home with her to nurse her back to health. Wendy, this wonderful man decided to quit his job and become a stay-at-home dad to take care of our children while I pursue my dream. He turned our den into his office and did freelance consulting and accounting work from home. Well, after 4 years of surgery, hospital stays, and doctor's visits, I'm proud to say our daughter is doing very well. Things could not be better. So what's the problem, you ask? Well, yeah, everything sounds perfect. Sorry to hear about your daughter, but I'm glad everything worked out. Here we go, you guys. I know this may sound very stupid, but for the past 2, maybe 3 years, I've started to look at my husband differently. I know where she's going. Do you know where she's going?
I'm intrigued.
Well, she's turned off by the domestication. Oh. Yeah. And I got to tell you something. Don't hate me, but I'm right here with her. But hold on, because I don't know whether that's what it is. I didn't pre-read this. I like to be as shocked as you all are when I deliver the message. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I should probably pre-read because she's about to say, if she's going to say some toe is a toe mess. But my eyes scan the page real fast and I see, okay, no toe is a toe. But I do see down here, hired a PI. So come on, let's continue. Shut up, Wendy. Okay. I no longer look at him as the same man. I guess I was so used to him working in an office, dressed in expensive suits, looking good, that it made me realize that this domestic part of him was completely turning me off. Exactly. You can take. There's certain women. I happen to be one of them. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but let's talk real talk. I could take Mr. Mom for a week, 30 days. But when it gets into, and would I give up my career for, we'll have to talk about that. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Now, remember, this has been going on for a long time. And even though he's working at home, let me continue. Because you do anything for your kids. But I understand how she's feeling. Shut up, okay? What's even worse, I started having an affair with another lawyer in a different firm in the building that I work in. Well, you know why that affair happened. Because for a lot of women, part of what turns us on to men is their ability to wield power in the world, not in the four walls we call home. You understand? Much to my small-mindedness, I'm one of those women. Like,
You and a baller.
Yeah, man, I want somebody who, you know what I'm saying?
Shot caller.
Call some shots. Nigga, make it happen.
Uh-oh.
You know, I'm looking at him across the room like, look at my man, make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And oh gosh, let me stop. Let me continue. I know it was wrong, but I guess I needed outside comfort. This affair has been going on for the past 5 months. Well, after talking to my mother about it, I decided to end the affair. My husband was being my rock and deserved much better treatment. You're right. Wendy, last Thursday, I met up with my jump off and told him it was over. He understood since he was married as well. I felt so much better. And when I got home, my husband was there preparing for his trip to Disney World in Florida with the kids. His trip. He's taking the kids to Disney, and she's back home wielding the power in the boardroom. He was taking them there since they were out of school for the week. His flight was leaving the next day. Wendy, everything was fine that Friday morning. Nothing out of the ordinary. My husband made breakfast for all of us. See, I have a problem with this. You know what? And once in a while and like that, but you know, the apron, like I got a whole picture in my mind. The rubber gloves and the vacuum sitting in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Him making light talk with the Poland Springs man who comes to deliver the water every Wednesday. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's got the view on. And she's standing in her power suit with her Halliburton briefcase talking about, I got a hard day at the office today. Anyway, listen to me, because this is about to get good. I see down here the PI. Okay, this is our kind of facts. Come on, let's go. Come on. Making breakfast. Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary. My husband made breakfast for all of us, and I left for work at 7:30 in the morning. Wendy, I got home from work at 8 o'clock at night on that Friday, and there was a note from my husband taped to the door. Oh. The note said that there was a surprise for me on the dining room table. Wendy, the surprise left me speechless. Okay. I would ask you what you want me to say, but I wasted enough time with this. Let's just get to it, everybody. It was pictures and detailed information of my jump off and I. Art, hit the appropriate button. Yes, that would be it. Damn. Wendy, there were pictures of us checking in and checking out of motels, the length of time we were in the rooms, pictures of us having dinner at certain restaurants, and all of my jump-off's personal information about his private life, including his wife's name, children's name, etc. Yes, Wendy, my husband hired a private detective to follow me. Just as I was looking at these pictures, my cell phone rang. Wendy, it was my jump-off. He just arrived home, and there was a suitcase outside his door with clothes in it. Apparently, my husband met up with my jump-off's wife and gave her all the information that he had. I called my husband at the hotel in Florida, and before I could say anything, he said he doesn't want to talk about it now. He and the kids will come home from Florida on Sunday, and we will discuss our divorce. Wow. Girl, help me out, please. I want to know how I can convince my husband to give me another chance. I really love him, and this past week has been hell for me. I realized my mistakes, and I will do anything to make it up to him. What do you suggest? Signed, Weepy in Westchester. Well, Weepy, first of all, girl, I understand you being turned off to a Mr. Mom. There are certain women, I'm not saying all women, because a lot of women can put up with that, but there's certain women who, the attraction is as much about anything else as it is about, a little bit of power. Damn, girl.
Is that a snafu?
You know what? This is what you're going to explain to your husband. Exactly what you explained to me. That you know that he stayed home because you were trying to decide, both of you, what you should do with your daughter, but it became a turnoff factor. That you want him to get back in the office, and now that your daughter's better and everything, and the whole Mr. Mom thing, and you return. Oh, girl, hell, get the divorce papers ready. Damn. Just in case. Everything that you said in this facts to me is perfectly understandable. Men jump off every day. The problem, and there is a problem, girls, no time in our lifetime is a man, except for Art, going to be forgiving. Art has already said he'd be forgiving. He said that several shows ago. We don't need to ask him to weigh in on it. Plead your case. To me, it's perfectly understandable why you did it. It's also perfectly understandable why he would assume that you were jumping off and hire a PI, because he's busy at home with the kids, ironing and cooking and taking care and nursing back to health. He doesn't have time to follow your cheating ass all around town. So he hired somebody to do it. And they did it, boy. I mean, be prepared for the worst, and that would be divorce. And at the very least, be prepared for him to forgive you, but it'll take a long time for him to trust you again. So you have to be ready with your accountability, and don't flinch. If he asks you where you were, you tell him you were at the mall. You were, at the Bloomingdale's cosmetic counter. You had to pick up some new. That's right. That's the life of a cheater. If you're going to be accepted back into the fold, you're going to have at least 6 months of hardcore questions, including, let me see the receipt. Oh, yes. Let me see the receipt. Because he's looking at times. He's looking to see, were you at Bloomingdale's at 7:15? You know what I'm saying? Because you were supposed to be home by 6. Oh, okay. Bloomingdale's. Okay, 7:15. He's going to be checking those grocery receipts. He's going to be checking car mileage, all that crap. And don't be surprised if he rehires the same PI to trail your ass again. That'll learn you. Yeah, I hear that, girl. You don't want to get back out there in the playing field. She's 39. She got 3 kids. The youngest, who started out being 1, with the illness, is now 5. So the kids are 10, 7, and 5.
He's not leaving her.
Why? He has his own good job. He's not a real Mr. Mom. He only stayed home because one of them had to. She was just getting her career jumped off. He might leave her. I mean, why wouldn't he leave her?
He did it too calmly.
That's how you do when you want to maintain calm tones because you're with the kids. You're not going to blow up in front of your kids, you effing nut. He's in the room at Disney World with the kids. Why argue about it then and there? When you have kids to take care of, you learn to use calmer tones. You learn that you don't want to poison your kids against mommy and or daddy. And for couples who fight like that and do all that heated argument and poisoning, you're doing a number on your kids' minds. You know, you fight when they're asleep in the fallout shelter, somewhere downstairs in the basement. You know what I mean? Or out in the backyard, because I'd rather the neighbors to hear than the kid to hear. F the neighbors, you know, the kid's the one with the psychological problem. You understand? Of course he's calm. You know why? Because he's learned to be a softer, pinker individual. I bet you he's not all hard and black like he used to be. When he was an accountant actually in the office, smelling good, wearing those suits with the monogrammed cufflinks and the French cuffling effect. You know, you stay around your kids long enough, you know, you learn. He's going to leave you. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, geez. I wish you well, woman. Did anybody watch Fat Actress last night? I didn't watch it. They said it came on. It started, wait, let me see. Kirstie Alley, March 7th at 10 p.m. Yeah. Where were we? Oh, we were watching, I wanted to say Queen, and then I wanted to say Losing Isaiah. But what I mean to say is their eyes are watching God. Halle Berry, same character in all three movies, just, you know, different lengths of hair. We talked about it earlier. I don't want to go too much into it. I wish Desperate Housewives was on last night. I was there for the Oprah movie from beginning to end. On a scale of 1 to 10, I gave it a 5. I talked about it earlier. I don't even really want to go into it. Oh, God. Mariah Carey's new CD is about to come out. She's promised us a one-on-one. She was actually supposed to come on Friday, last Friday, truth be told. They called from her house. The doctor was there at the time giving her shots for her voice, like she lost her voice or whatever. But she's going to be coming like sometime soon, like I think this week or next week. I look forward to that. One thing I love about Mariah Carey is that she gives good interview and she doesn't take my guff. I mean, she gets right back at me. It's just cute to see it all play out. You know, I say something to her, oh, she's so defensive. Oh, Wendy, what about you? I look like a flat-chested 6th grader next to you, she says. I'm not going to ask her about the boobs when she comes this time around. I feel as though, you know, we've already done that. You know, let's drum up new Mariah questions. We're not dealing with plastic surgery or anything. Just, let's move on. Because she's been out of the spotlight, other than the KISS song with Jadakiss, which had a good run in my car. That's me and my son's favorite song still now. Mariah, you helped my son learn how to spell kiss. He know KISS. Unfortunately, he thinks that me is a part of the word. KISS me, mommy. No, Kevin, M-E is me. No, just KISS. You know what I mean? Did you hear about the woman who admitted her role in a heroin killing? Oh, well, it's disgusting. And shout out to everybody in Mineola, Long Island. This is your neck of the woods. Is there a less attractive person on the face of the earth than Lizzie Grubman, by the way? This woman is so, she just got a grip. For a white chick with so much money, and, she comes from the crowd where everybody gets the plastic surgery and stuff. Her hairline is growing down on her face like an albino Planet of the Apes. I can say this because you already make fun of my look, so I don't feel as though I'm saying anything off color. And the texture of her skin, it's like greasy and it looks pimply. And give her the drill. Why wouldn't she get her teeth reconfigured? And her hair is so mousy. But she's got this show coming on MTV called, hold on, I'm going to get to the woman in the heroin in a minute. I have no idea where that just popped out of my head with Lizzie Grubman. Is this the most unattractive woman that you've ever seen in your life? Look at her right there. Is that an unattractive? And I think she's like 20-something.
She's better in person.
Does she? Have you seen her in person? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Okay, well then that's good. I understand that. I've never seen her in person, but she just always looks oily and like she needs a dermatologist appointment and like she needs her teeth redone and her hairline is growing down, into her. You understand what I'm saying? Well, this new show on MTV is called Power Girls, and it's going to follow Lizzie and 4 of her proteges on a job. And what I love about this is that being a PR person, as she makes note of, is a really, really kiss behind job. And this is a show that I would watch. So shout out to you, Lizzie Grubman. You managed to stay on a diet. I'm looking at your picture here in the newspaper today on page 21 of the New York Post. You're so thin that we see your breastplate. But that grill, what do you call that? A butterface. Look. And I'm not even sure that the rest of it is okay because, quite frankly, I don't know that all that skinniness is good. But her face. Stop looking at me like that. You already buried me. So now what? What are you going to say? Oh, you look like a man. What are you going to say that you haven't already said? Where was I? The heroine, Mineola. Give me my news typewriter. Dateline today, Mineola, Long Island. A Long Island woman has pled guilty to helping to hold down her mother's boyfriend as he was injected with a fatal dose of heroin. A 23-year-old woman by the name of Maria Cantana has had been facing murder charges, but she agreed on Friday to plead to manslaughter. She is expected to be sentenced to 6 years in prison and 5 years probation. The Nassau District Attorney's office says that Cantana helped to kill 47-year-old Glenn Brockwell back on April 21st of 2000, along with her mother, her husband, and her mother's former boss. What? Helped kill 47-year-old Glenn Brockwell along with her mother? Okay, those people all helped to kill this man. Prosecutors say Glenn Brockwell, who's the 47-year-old man, who had been dating this 23-year-old woman, Maria Cantana's mother. The mother, by the way, is 50. And apparently, the man had passed out on the couch from a sedative put in his drink. And they say police didn't find Brockwell's body until August 22nd of 2001. So they got away with this for over a year. They say it was buried in the Massapequa, Long Island Preserve. Now let's get to the bottom of how they killed him again. She held down the body while her mother injected him with a fatal dose of heroin. Isn't that something? All right, everybody. It's the bonus hour. I'm going to take this phone call, and we'll be back after these messages.
It's time to pick your pleasure.
Call now to win at 212-545-1075.
The choice is yours from the BLS Pleasure Chest.
Good luck from 107.5 WBLS.
Today's R&B and Classic Soul.
Yes, it's the bonus hour. Thank you for that. Of the Wendy Williams Experience. Here on 107.5, the legendary WBLS. Vaughn Harper's coming up at 7 with The Quiet Storm. So, I see that the girl from American Idol, Kimberly Locke, I don't know whether I talked about this last week. She popped the question to her boyfriend, Don Campbell. She slipped a ring, the engagement ring, in a brownie. And he bit into the ring, rinsed it off, and realized that it was an engagement ring. And then she got down on her knee and asked him to marry her. And she says, here's a quote, "If I had waited for him to ask me, it would have been a while, I'm sure." More power to her. I just feel as though there's some things regarding this whole, women take charge thing that just come around and bite us in the behind. And one of them is, if you ask a man to marry you, then eventually when you all have a fight, it's going to go something like this. "Well, it's not like I wanted to marry you anyway. You asked me. I felt sorry for you, so I said, yeah." You know what I mean? But I wish you luck. It's Kimberly Locke. She lost a lot of weight. She's a cute girl, this girl from American Idol. I can't tell you one song she sings. Does she sing? What is her life going on like after American Idol? I know the Kelly Clarkson girl. I couldn't tell you one song she sings, but I always see her name on the Billboard charts. She's platinum and stuff. Kimberly Locke. Yeah, so they say that they originally met in her hometown. She's from Tennessee. And they plan on exchanging vows next year. They don't have a confirmed wedding date, but he's got his engagement ring, Kimberly. She came in third on the second season of American Idol. Now, when a woman asks you to marry her and she presents you with the ring, do you turn around and get her an official engagement ring? I mean, does she wear 2 rings on her finger when she get married, or is he the one wearing 2 rings, an engagement ring and then a wedding band? No, I'm just asking. I never knew anybody in real life who asked the other person to marry them. And she got down on her knee, so far the roles have been totally reversed. Well, she's currently working on a follow-up CD to her debut album. I don't know anything about the debut album. Oh, by the way, Don, the fiance, is a barber. And they've been dating on and off for about 10 years. So at least she knows what she's getting into in terms of, knowing the person that she's about to marry. He knew her before American Idol and has known her since, and that's good. You know that actress Carrie Fisher? I saw her over the weekend. She was hosting something on Fabulous Homes or something like that. She was in Star Wars. She found a body of one of her close friends in bed at her Beverly Hills house last week. Isn't that crazy? Apparently, he's a political advisor here in the country, and he passed away in Carrie Fisher's house just hours after the two of them had left an Oscars after party. 42, died of heart failure. She was Princess Leia. Remember the hairstyle? Oh, we all tried to perfect it. I did. The pigtails, then you braid them, and then you twist them all around your head. Wow, isn't that crazy? And James Brown says Michael Jackson was set up. There's a credible source. He says that, here's his quote, "Recognize that people do this. They've been trying to do this to me all my life, trying to get something for nothing. I think he's been set up like most entertainers. People think you have a lot of money." No, James, I believe you weren't just set up or whatnot. You've been found guilty for numerous things, including shooting at your ex-wives, PCP use, driving erratically, gunplay, gorilla. Oh, remember what that recipe was, everybody? That's weed dipped in the embalming fluid with, what was the third ingredient, Art? PCP, which I think is embalming fluid. Oh, there were 3 ingredients, though. It was weed, PCP, and, James, sit down. We love you, Godfather, but please.
Herbal tea.
That's right. The herbal green tea. That's right. Green tea was the third component. Thank you. James, as I can best recall, you've been found guilty on virtually everything that anybody's ever said about you. So please, Michael doesn't need friends like you at this particular time. God, I had a couple of goodies for you guys. Oh. Dear Wendy, I'm 33-year-old single female with no kids. I'm attempting to put myself back out there in the dating world. But Wendy, after listening to you every day, I keep hearing your voice in my head saying, girl, get your gaydar up. Ooh, how you doing? Wendy, what the heck am I supposed to do? I'm terrified to death. It's like every good-looking man I see, I wonder if he knows how to hold his ankles. If a toe is a toe and a mouth is a mouth and a booty is a booty. What do I do to get over this? Well, you don't. I mean, not every man is gay. Certainly, there are quite a few down low men out there, and the most you can do is say your prayers at night and not buy into all stereotypes. Just because a man likes sushi and quiche doesn't make him Queenie. Just because a man plucks his eye. All right, maybe not that. The eyebrows, yeah, But, it's... Look, this is nothing new. I was talking about Mariah Carey earlier today on the show. I was saying, I can't believe the cover of her Emancipation of Mimi CD. They say it's released on April 12th. For some reason, I think that this is March 12th. I think this is a misprint. Because she's been doing publicity. She was supposed to come to the show last week, but she got sick at the last minute. I love Mariah. I understand she's got a vineyard and wine. And, the woman is just wealthy beyond belief. And she's always up to something. I always wondered why she never got into the clothing business, though. She's got a great body. She barely wears clothes. But neither would I if I were her. But I wonder why she's never gotten into the clothing business, though, like the rest of the girls. I mean, she would have been so on it. As a matter of fact, I'm still mad because Gwen Stefani calls her line lamb. And that's a word I associate with Mariah Carey. Because her friends call her lamb. Lambs are gentle and they're docile. And that's what her friend... Mariah, you're lamb. I don't know where Gwen got that, but it does stand for Love Angel Music Baby for Gwen. But you know what, Mariah? If you had a clothing line, as a matter of fact, when I first heard that there was a lamb clothing line, I thought that was you. Then I learned it was Gwen. I didn't know who to be mad at, Gwen for using the name or you for not fighting. But why should you fight? Mariah, you're always lamb in my mind.
She has a lingerie line coming out.
She has a lingerie line allegedly coming out. I mean, I did that on my show. Where did you hear that here on the show? You heard that here on the show. Well, I can't wait to chat about her new CD and to find out what all it's doing. I'll tell you what, this vineyard thing, how much do you want to bet she owns all the land that the vineyard is on? She, she's wealthy beyond belief. She's still got her Camp Mariah going, which I love about Mariah Carey. Mariah loves her fans. That Camp Mariah is like one of the longest standing goodwill things that's been going on in the hip hop R&B sector, along with Camp Cool J. And I don't even know if LL still has his thing going on, but if he does, that's one of my many reasons for loving LL Cool J. But it's one of my primary reasons for loving Mariah. I mean, along with the beautiful voice and everything like that, she loves the young girls. But on this album cover, she looks painfully like Beyonce. You know where you can go look at it? Go to MariahDaily.com. Is that where you got this, Steve? Not MariahCarey.com?
No, Daily.
Mariah Daily. Now, what is that? An update on all that's going on with like Mariah?
A fan site, yeah.
Wow, it's a fan site. All right, well, go to MariahDaily.com. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to see Beyonce, but with better breasts. Yeah. Because natural breasts don't beat implants. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? These are standing nice. They're standing right. I know, Mariah. We're not going to have boob talk when you come in either. Case is closed as far as I'm concerned with that. And they look good. The Emancipation of Mimi. There you go. She's dressed in gold. Her hair is blonded out. But she's born with blonde hair. And her body is totally tanned over. And the makeup job is great. The dress is beautiful, or lack thereof. Whatever it is, it's good. If I were Mariah Carey, I'd wear next to nothing also. Tabloids are always getting on Mariah about what she wears, or lack thereof. People are still weighing in on last night's movie. Here's somebody, the Oprah Winfrey movie. And I gave it a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, but I mean 5 shooting towards a 4. Only because there was such a buildup. I don't know. I just expected so much more. If it just came on, then I would have understood it better. This person here says, the movie last night was nice. I was disappointed because they had me believing that it was must-see TV, but after seeing it, I felt let down. The movie seemed like it should have been 2 parts or something. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, well, but I think you're being a little unfair by giving it a 4. No, I didn't give it a 4. I gave it a 5. I gave it a 5, meaning, nothing bad, nothing good, just, there. Go Oprah. Go Hallie. Go Michael. Most importantly, I see that, and a listener said this earlier, this man apparently makes her smile. Hallie is finally found, or at least temporarily, or maybe this is long term. I don't know how long this is going to last. Did you notice there were no kids in the movie last night? There were no kids. I not that there had to be kids, but you just figure in a little Negro town down south back in 1906, where there was no birth control. Aren't there supposed to be kids running around every place? I mean, I'm trying to figure out how the little town was supposed to continue going on. There were no kids. Hallie was the youngest one. I saw one little boy getting her way at one point, and I said, oh, presence of a child. There were no kids in that town, though. I mean, it was entertaining. If Desperate Housewives was on, I would have logged off by 9:15. I would have been to Desperate Housewives. It had a slow start, and, it was what it was. I'm glad I watched it, though. I'll continue to support Oprah. And shout out to Hallie. You're still working, and that's what counts. By the way, back to Mariah Carey. They say that Mariah, is that 2 on what? 2 on this, 2 on... Oh, I gotta go. I gotta make tracks. Yeah. Look, if there's a little bit of room after a commercial, then just play something appropriate for the Vaughn Harper experience. I'm rushing to the red carpet, you all. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow, though, at 2 o'clock. Same time, same place, same bat channel. I do love you for being here during the bonus hour and whatever part of the rest of the day that you could spare. I definitely appreciate it. So Vaughn's next with The Quiet Storm, and then Champagne comes in, and then it's Paul Mooney, and then it's Adimu, and then we're back together again at 2 o'clock tomorrow, all right? All right, everybody. Take it easy. Bye.
The Wendy Williams broadcast day has completed.
Aw, man!
And WBLS music starts next.